うん。
吉田さんと会うの久しぶりですね。
いやー、そうですね。お互いね、それぞれ別々の目的で海外に来ましたからね。いやーでもね、今年ほどね、祖権の名言であるね。
And we are live a little bit early. Hey all.
実感した。
They're currently doing sound checks and stuff. So we still got like 20 minutes until we go. Let me say hi to you guys. Jay, good to glad to have you. Oh, Jade's first. Hydra, good to glad to have you. Jackson, good to glad to have you. Ray Ray, good to glad to have you. You really claimed you first when I was here an hour ago. Tracy, good to glad to have you. V, good to glad to have you. Those are the happy times.
14もメディアツアーやってきたんですけど、
Raiji, good to glad to have you.
やろうかなって言われて。
Fan fiction since like
やら
5
ないパター
a.m.
ンですよね。
Jackson, yeah, I've been trying to sleep. I was trying to sleep best I could the past couple hours.
そうですね。でも、
I came home from work and haven't slept yet. Yep.
とかイタリアって初めて。
Len, good to glad to have you. Nick, good to glad to have you. Kiko, good to glad to have you. Adia, good to glad to have you. Infinite, good to glad to have you.
コミュニティイベントもちょっとやったんですけど、14プレイヤーものすごい数来てます。
We're gonna lower
メディアの方にもやっぱ14プレイヤー非常に多いので、あれさっきインタビューしたやんあなたみたいな感じで。
Okay, tell me that a little better. I'm gonna lower them down a little bit further. I've been trying to balance it because I want to make sure that when we get to the what's it called? The trailer that we can see everything. Okay. Let me get some stuff set up really good. Okay. Any interesting things? No, they're just doing sound checks. Also, we're obviously this is the live letter part 2 for 6.4, so we're going to be going over the information for 6.4. I'll be reading off the live translations off of supplementing what I know of Japanese and mainly through Luna, Minori, and that whole crew over on the Final Fantasy XIV Discord. He's going to praise the game because he couldn't help but look at the game from perspective of developer.
もうあとだから発売まで1ヶ月半ぐらいですよね。
そうですね。
Let's see. Then he got some interesting comments from.
むしろ。あ、そっか。違うわ。来月もなんかイベント予告されてましたもんね。
はい。まあでも、やっぱりプロデューサーは純粋開発とはちょっっと違って、なんか落ち着かないですよ。本当です。
Yeah, just some idle thoughts about the 16 collab, but not a whole lot to go for. Mara, Amar, good to see, glad to have you. Tam, good to glad to have you. Laffy, good to glad to have you. Sutana, good to glad to have you. I'm so excited. Yes, it is very exciting. Tom Jefferson's voice. So what I miss. Morning, Laffy. Let's see what nonsense awaits today. This should be patch BR 5.3 equivalent. Well, no, so Sutana. Well, okay, actually, that's fair. To fair, in a sense, it is actually, but I would say it's not because 5.3 is with like 4.1 to 4.3 and 3.1 to 3.3 an epilogue to the primary patch, whereas so far 6.1 to 6.4 has been an arc completely disconnected from Endwalker's arc. Endwalker ended itself at 6.0. So in a sense, it is the patch, the first part of the patch's climax, but I would actually say that it up until this point has nothing that it is in parallel with, because the closest thing you would look to would be ARR, which climaxes kind of its patch entire patch cycles all lead up into Heaven's Word. Up into 2.55, but yeah, this should be more like 2.4 than yeah, Jade, a little bit more like that, and then it's gonna pivot. We're gonna see a hard pivot in 6.5. Yeah, playing New Zelda while watching a live letter. Nice, good to see, glad to have you, Kyle. Yoshi-P not wearing a specific T-shirt. Boo. No, yeah, nothing. He's recounting some of his development experiences on 16, just like little idle things.
PS4 Pro 結構います。確かに。
7.0 でグラフィックスアップデート、まあもちろんね、グラフィックスアップデート来てもプレイステーション4のサポートはね、続けてまいりますが、いかがですか、そろそろ。確かにね。プレイステーション5タイトルもね、揃ってまいりましたし、何よりね、14皆さんプレイされてるんであれば。
People asking about if the graphics updates will affect PS4 because performance and all that stuff. That one, Red Mage, good to glad to have you. Going from Celine to Sarah feels more like a magical girl transformation than Eos to Sarah. Also excited for the race stuff. Patch content climax is basically what I meant. Well, but like, I mean, is it? Because it's the climax of... It's not really the climax of... We still have 6.5 to come, and 6.55, which is also a climax in and of itself. So, like, 0.3 and 0.55 of all the other patches, I think, are all hyper important, right? So, like, you've got, like, while Dragonsong War is important, the you know, penultimate moment, or the ultimate moment of the patch for, like, you know, 3.x is Shinryu in the wall, right? In 4.0, it's obviously you have the Yotsuyu moment in 4.3, but you also then have the battle in the dark and the pulling of the scions. So it's like there's always two climax moments, to greater or lesser extents, you know. Meanwhile, oh yeah, graphics update stuff too. Yeah, my plans for Tears of the Kingdom have been thrown out the window until Sunday, so the live letter will be a highlight for Friday. Well, at least it'll be sooner rather than later. Ready to see? Meanwhile, I've been going through Breath of the Wild Master Mode. I'm looking out my window for the FedEx truck that should be coming with my Tears of the Kingdom. I started playing it, and then I had a little bit of a... all to say, Tears of the Kingdom's awesome. Interestingly, very different and very similar to Breath of the Wild in ways you wouldn't be surprised by, but also fascinating. I'd love to have some super dry eagles. I just want them to put something out that makes me want to keep playing. Well, it depends. It depends on what drives the idea. Like, because I mean, like if you want specific content, hopefully, and I mean, as long as there's if the raids stuff drive you, obviously Anabasios definitely will. Beyond that, yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what sort of content comes out for 6.5, 6.55, because we're going to be looking at between like 4 to 6 months. You know, we're looking at earliest 7.0 being like March of next year, and at latest probably like August. I mean, I would late spring, early summer would be the reasonable thing. And if you keep that, that's the pace that we see. You know, 6.5 is September, which means 6.55 could be anywhere from, I mean, really November to February, because sometimes they do them relatively quickly after. Sometimes it's way later. Leia, good to glad to have you. Good morning. Vanished for a moment before realizing you went live. Yeah. Do you have Tears of the Kingdom? Yeah, it's coming through a mail of mine. Yes, I got mine digitally. I've only got to play a little bit though, because I tried to go back to sleep because I was tired and stressed out. Tears of the Kingdom makes Breath of the Wild like a first draft of the game. Is pretty damn wild how big it is. Yeah, and in some ways, so far to its detriment. I think the feeling of exploration, actually, ironically, gets somewhat more limited by the fact that there's so much more. Not so much. It's not even just choice paralysis. Anyways, this is not a Tears of the Kingdom stream. All I will say is it's very interesting. I'm so hyped. Yeah, Kirlea, good to glad to have you. I'm so hyped for 6.4 so far. Yeah, me too. Yeah, weekend, Leia. Yeah. I've only seen a little bit of the actual game stuff from Tears of the Kingdom, but can't wait. Yeah. I mean, look, if you like Breath of the Wild, you're going to like Tears of the Kingdom. I think there's just no question. I'll definitely say that much. 13 minutes left. All the audio checks are doing good. They're just going to be hanging out here for the next bit. Apparently, Yoshi-P playing Zelda is trending on Twitter. Yoshi-P confirmed that he's one of the board members of the company. He's also recounting his experience in the optimization of consoles and PCs, especially PCs, because he has to cater games for various types of PCs of different specs. And also, Japan has a very different experience with, like, relationship with PC adoption for gamers. Patch 6.4, all producer and director checks are completely done and are now over. So it's basically 6.4 has gone gold, which, I mean, that's usually their timeline that matches up with the timeline that we would expect. Usually it's 2 weeks out, 2 to 3 weeks out. They're already locked. Yoshi-P says he's feeling a little under the weather, so he may not be the topmost energy. Yoshi-P's congratulating people on Yoshi-P's congratulating people who say they cleared top, and talking about how rating can be a real challenge. Can't wait for Rage. Hope you listen to feedback. Make every fight have a door boss. Yeah, you know, I will say, Jade, having been going through Alora, good to see glad to have you. Atelier, good to see glad to have you. Having recently gone through Omega all synced, I have to say I really have come to deeply appreciate a really good door boss. Having like a 5-minute or a short door boss up front and then a longer fight like X-Death and X-Death and Kefka and like X-Death in particular was a really good time. I really like that. Mornings, Real Aura. Yo, I'll be listening while at work. Sounds good, Atelier. First Final Fantasy 14 in TS4 is trending, and now this. Yep. I mean, surprising no one. Levi, good to glad to have you. Poor Yoshi-P needs rest. I will say, look at Yoshi-P right now. This is the most I've seen him rested in a while. Like, actually, like, the bags are bad, but they're not travesties. Yeah. After getting the set of the wild in normal mode. If you like Breath of the Wild, meanwhile me trying to remember where the last 5 non-DLC shrines are. So, well, here's what I'll say. There's a lot of shrines in Tears of the Kingdom, so if you'll have no lack of that. Don't burn yourself out on Breath of the Wild before you go into Tears of the Kingdom. I've been playing Age of Clan the past few days, and I have to say it's mind-numbing after a while. Progress is slow. I mean, yeah, that's Muso's like that, and also, yeah. Omega makes you appreciate door bosses. Pandemonium makes you want to never touch one again. It's so true. I mean, was P4 that bad? I mean, P4S wasn't so bad. P8 was bad. P8 was real bad. Man's been flat out, yeah. Phoenix. Okay. I'm weird. I like Phoenix. But then again, a lot of people were bad at it, so that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, Morton Levi, 16 is done. I'm sure he's doing well. Yeah, the gold. Well, he definitely, in theory, he should have less on his plate. Although the reality is that because he was only producing that, I wonder if all that time though has been really put right back into producing and directing for 14. Compared to beginning the Endwalker launch month, he looks better. Yeah, I think we all remember that. The bags love the truth. Yeah, yeah. Tea breakfast required. Hopefully I can wake up now. Nice, Kiko. Nice. Enjoy your brekkie. Oh my god, Yoshi-P overslept. Like, for those of you who know he usually gets like 4 hours a day, like, that is... Yeah, that is wild. And Yoshi-P says, if I end up sleeping too much, I don't feel like doing stuff the next day. It makes me rather not wanting to do... Makes me rather not wanting to do anything. Basically, if he oversleeps, it makes his life harder, which I can relate to. It's not even that the fight is bad or unfun, it just sucks to have to try to do every time you re-instance. Yeah, okay, yep, that makes sense. Whereas, like, for instance, when you fight X-Death, rather than Neo X-Death, it's actually a fun little, like, oh, okay, cool, you know. Yeah, the problem is it's like half and half, right, Jade? Is that it's not really a door boss, it's a half the fight and half the fight in Pandemonium, rather than like a, you know, a fourth and 3/4. It should be congratulating people for top clears. Feels extremely wholesome after how disappointed he was after when it cheated top four. Yeah. I don't see the issue Yoshi-P about as tired as I feel. I need to grab coffee and sandwiches before they start in earnest. Yeah, you got 7 minutes. Go for it, Tracy. Oversleep feeling is worse for me than undersleeping. Yeah, my big problem is waking up. I just struggle to wake up. Okay, that's them waving. That's them waving. You've got about 7 minutes. If anyone has any topics around 14 or any 6.4 stuff they want to bring up or discussion they'd like to bring up, now's our time. One of the things we could also do is 6.4 website, because what we're going to be seeing today is we're going to be seeing stuff for Anabasios. We're also going to be seeing stuff for things like the Aether font. I'm trying to remember, was it Ham or Yorm that the Aether font's on? Because Val disappeared. Nope. Square Enix special sites not updating. I wonder if they're actually in the midst of trying to update it right now because of information that's going to go live from the live letter. I bet you that's what's going on. But yeah, I love Ham. It's Ham. Yeah, okay, it is Ham. Thank you, AC. More bed is always best. I've got so much I want to do, though. I don't believe in the concept of oversleeping. My only more bed. Amy, good to see you. Glad to have you. Howdy there. Discovered your channel about a few weeks ago. Glad to follow the yellow with you. Well, I'm glad you're here. And I hope you continue to enjoy our content. Right now, I'm moving. I'm going to be moving soon. And so just so everyone's aware, things might be a little bit content light over the next month or so. But we should be back into it, especially really sometime in June. And I'm hoping to put out some fun stuff. Beyond that, you can also join us for our streams, where you got Monday and Tuesday. We do MSQ replay. We're starting Endwalker. We've been going through the whole thing, and we're starting Endwalker on this Monday. And yeah, if you like old Final Fantasy games, me and Neri play through Final Fantasy IV currently on Thursdays. And yeah. I really want to see face Athena in the next raid tier. I feel like there's no way we don't at least contend with some form of Athena. The ways in which that she's set up, or what remains of her, or the comments that La Habre has about her soul belonging to a new entity, and or someone could be risen, or like I think there's no way that, to some extent, whether or not it's a boss, but yeah. Sleep, it's good for you. Well, Val disappeared, as did the website apparently. It's going to be amazing. Yeah. Good luck with the move. Thanks, Kirlea. Yeah, I've been packing things up preemptively. I'm excited. There's a lot of good, there's a lot of reasons to be excited for it, but yeah, been a little bit busy right now, and I'm trying to also take some time to actually enjoy life and go for walks or spend time with partners and all that. Val didn't disappear. I'm on it right now. Jade, you play every time I log in. I just see, oh, Jade's in Eureka. Jade's doing more Eureka. It's. I hope it doesn't. This is not a call out post, but it's impressive to me that I'm like, I'm so goal oriented that like once I cleared Eureka and all that, I was like, okay, I'm out, I'm done. Zombie Athena, yeah. More bed is the only mood. Stab Athena with a big sword like Kratos. Also, Helios, good to see you, glad to have you. A good midday for you. Yeah, good midday indeed. Zombrea, the site is up. Val disappeared. I refuse to acknowledge that Eureka exists. Don't worry, Alara, as long as you don't acknowledge Eureka, it can't hurt you. Is Deadpool packing his doggy briefcase for the move? Yes. And also his Kryl outfit is ready to go. So you guys are going to see that on Monday as well. I fully expect Athena to be in some kind of jar to invoke Genova. Interesting. I wouldn't have gone that direction, but I could see it. Genova Athena. He packs a doggy bag, obviously. How can you stop doing Eureka when the more you play it, the more your damage numbers go up? Different priorities. Speaking of, who wants to see Deadpool while we wait for the live letter to start? Can I get some? I need some Deadpool emotes though, if you want to see it. Okay, cool. Now it's back up. Okay, we've got Anabasios, but it looks like the fact that we see Themis means that maybe we're still going back to Elpis to figure out what's going on. We've got the Aether Font, which is the dungeon, which is the Isle of Ham. Obviously the Unreal. Umino's gonna want to be doing that. Duty support, Island Sanctuary, Ocean Fishing. Yeah, you got the Ocean Fishing. We got Mount Rukon over in Hingashi. Well, they haven't confirmed it's Hingashi yet, but it is Hingashi because it's Hingan architecture. But give me a second. Come on, buddy. Deadpool. He's coming down the stairs. He's going up. Deadpool, come on. Come on. Deadpool. Okay. I will get him in a second. He had to go outside to go to the bathroom. So he was like, he ran down the stairs and he was like, oh, I need to go outside and go to the bathroom. So he ran back up and he's outside doing that. Also made like 7 million gills in 2 weeks. Jesus Christ, Jade. Oh, Lordy almighty. So I'll get the boy as soon as he's here. Chris, good to see you, glad to have you. See, usually I like that, but too many experiences trying to solo level and dying. Maybe just have skill issues. I feel like part of it can be patient issues too, right? Thank you, Ray. Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing great. I hope you're doing great, Chris. Yas, the pupper. He'll be here in just a couple minutes. I wonder if we fight Typhon in the raid. It could be. I wouldn't imagine so, but it could be. I feel like we go back to SS Law at least once per patch cycle. Shadowbringers we did for the Bahamut. Obviously we did for Heaven's Word because of the Warring Triad. Storm, well, I mean, we did for Bahamut, but also did for Tiamat. In 4.x, what did we go back there for 4.x? Other than, I know there's certain side quests. But speaking of dungeons, about to hit Eventide Island. Nice. I remember flying out to there for the first time and finding that completely without knowing anything about it. Look at others. Speaking of dungeons, not the biggest fan of tea or coffee, but I made myself some hot chocolate. Oh, that's the good shit. I'm happy to say that as of last night, I got all my crafters to 50. Now on to Heaven's Word crafting. MSQ-wise, I've beaten the game. Nice! Bit by bit. There's a lot of great... I will say, if you're leveling them, take the time to do the quests. There's some lovely quests, even the ARR ones, and some hilarious ones, too. Been trying to get ready for P9S and P12S. Haven't cleared raid since E5S, PF, P8S is something to say less. Yeah, Amy, it is heckin' something. I will say we have a lot of people in our community who like to do raiding, so even if you wanted to get a partial party, teaming up with some of them really helps. You can meet up with them over in the Discord, but oh, okay, it's going. I mean, we'll watch the English one after this. Cool. Memoriates. Mount Runcon. Uh-oh. Ah, the overworld theme for 4? Yes! Duty support. Blaze Gomez DSR. That's just Dragon King Thornton. I know, straight up. I was thinking the same thing. Okay, real quick, we're gonna go find, before we watch the thing, 6.4 trailer FFXIV. We're gonna watch it in English real quick. we'll go to the official website. Does not look like it's up yet. Okay, so we'll continue on the stream. The second it's up, though, we'll pause real quick to watch it.
ファイナルファンタジー14プロデューサーレターライブのお時間です。皆さんご挨拶お願いします。
はい、ファイナルファンタジー14プロデューサー兼ディレクターの吉田です。よろしくお願いします。よろしくお願いします。
Okay. Vandal, good to see you, glad to have you. What's the Ember team theme for? Anabasios? It's not clear, but it's very interesting that that's what they chose to use. But think about the moons. The associations both with the moon on the 13th and Zodiac and the moon on the source and what that's connected with.
持ってましたか。
その勢いで吉田ゼルダのトレンドを消してほしい、マジで。落としてほしい。
Okay, and Muna and Iluna are the translators for them. So I will be covering anything that they throw up, anything I catch. He only knows that there's a couple reasons that would be off, because why wouldn't that shard rejoin? Why would Xenos be able to claim that? That doesn't really work. It would make more sense if Golbez was, frankly. I don't know that he is, but can you make chat disappear while we're watching in English? Yeah. I have level 67 blacksmith, and I've done level 1. Golbez is much bigger than I thought he'd be. Yeah, well, he's a big boy. I mean, you can see because his throne in like comparison to the Well, I guess there's not really a touch point. I don't know why I was so certain that he was going to be so big. I mean, partly because of a 4. How's my volume, by the way? Is it overlapping with theirs pretty good, or do I need to lower theirs? I'm getting chilled. Mount Rock On, am I right? Dude, that was just some straight up Sekiro vibes, right? Right? Yeah, more Contra Memoria stuff. Yeah, there was no way we weren't getting there. Oh, Jade, thanks. I'm definitely gonna take you up on helping to get a clear of 9 through 12. Loud and clear. Thanks, Jane. Good to glad to have you. Oh, V says it's up. Perfect. And we don't have any translations yet, so we're gonna go ahead and thank you, V. Okay, let me turn the volume back up real quick.
I would bid you join me. Fight with me for the salvation of all our souls.
Interesting. I bet that's him talking to other.
Feast upon this dragon and its ardent longing for home with it.
They claim to be so.
I got bad feelings about Hydaelyn's fate.
They claim to be soldiers of a kingdom called Baron, and we're traveling the realm
Baron!
in search of a means to end the Contra Memoria.
FF4, baby!
Everything seems to be proceeding apace. I dare say he would have been fine without me.
Mount Rock On.
Containment seal. Then thou wouldst make use of...
So this is the promised land. The land of boundless ether.
That's the sound of Void Sense being allowed out into our world.
Eorzean, commence your invocations.
Why were they rebinding the Aether of Zodiac?
It's time to open our gate.
They're opening a gate to the oh my god! Guys, they're gonna use the fucking Zodiac Aether to open a gate to the fucking 13th from our moon to theirs.
This is the moon of the 13th.
Called it!
I'm waiting for this.
They're gonna fire the cannon from the using the Aether from the Aether Fund. They're gonna fire the cannon from the Tower of Babel.
Twisted fools. Like you would-be heroes. It always ends the same way. A knife in the back.
Even now, I struggle with fear and uncertainty. Day after day, I ask myself, what is right? Where do we go from here?
See, firing the cannon, delivering that aether to the moon. That or firing it to open the gate.
You will go no further. At last, the moment is at hand. Come, face me. The hero who shattered the wheel and brought salvation to the world.
Oh, that's not good. That sounds like Golbez's plan to unleash the 13th upon the source is gonna work. Lolly, good, thank you for Archon. Good to see you, glad to have ya. Okay, let's get us all back to the stream. Okay. And I will be speeding up at certain points. Okay. The patch is coming out the 23rd of May. And the other language trailers are now up. We're finally getting to the last parts of the 6.x patches, says Yoshi-P. And we had to carefully pick scenes for the trailer. Is that a squid or an octopus? Who knows? So you've already seen what happens in that mechanic. When it goes like that, it'll be the other thing. So here. Let's... So they played this, but then they just had some commentary over it. But apparently they had to be very careful about what scenes they picked for the trailers, which isn't surprising. I mean, even with just like the enemies that they showed for Anabasios, they clearly are showing. I bet you that's the P9 guy. Is that what I can't figure out? Is that a raid or is that fucking Mount Rookon? I mean, I see 4 people. No, I see more than 4 people. So that's got to be a trial, or which means it's not. It's probably not a trial, which means probably a raid. That means this is probably P10 or 11. Skipping forward. Okay, now we're caught up. Releases on the 23rd. Please look forward to it. And this is the first piece of information that we got. Yeah, it does, Helios. It does look like it's from near. We're bad, Yukio. Not good. It wouldn't be rejoined. It's not going to be rejoined. It's going to be an incursion. He's not. There is no. They're not going to be able to rejoin effectively now. The 13th can't be rejoined because of its nature. It won't be a rejoining. Lars, good to see you. Glad to have you. Gary, good to see you. Glad to have you. Void Send Alexander. That's an interesting way to put it. Hi, Lolly. Is that a tank buster marker on the tower? It looked like it. Golbez wants to unleash the 13th on the source. Us opening the biggest void portal to ever exist. Golbez, thank you. Yeah. When will it release? May 23rd, Helios. New main scenario quest. Totaru's Grand Endeavor continues. Obviously, Kotaru requires the completion of patch 6.1. And also you need to have done Sorrows of Whirlwind, obviously, because it leads in from that. Yoshi-P says to Foxconn, you've been to North America last week? Foxconn, yes. Why again? Foxconn, since I'm the head of the global community team. Yoshi-P, so the head of the global community team going to North America at this point can only mean it was because of FanFest, right? Foxconn, yes. Yoshi-P, so there will be news on that soon, right? That 4-man trial with a giant robot face looks like Dr. Luge, so maybe new Hildebrand trial. Atelier, that's a great pitch. I wonder. Yeah. Alexander, I'm still convinced that Golbez is basically the dark version of what the Warrior of Light was after we absorbed fall through. It was full of light. Maybe. Where's Fusoya when you need him? Right. Get more of them Lunarians on our side. I think if we follow the what we've seen so far with the other visions of the past with the Contra Memoria, the people that we're seeing in Baron is almost certainly one of those characters, almost certainly Golbez. But we'll see. Some of his other dialogue would imply kind of other. No, because the Igyorm would have failed 10,000 years ago. So no, that could have been, yeah. I don't think Hildebrand, because what we see is the bottom of it looking like a growth, the exact growth we see going out of Panda earlier in the trailer. Interesting, Hydra. Good catch. Speaking of that, Eldritch Abomination has those orange bubbles on its underbelly. Yep. Hydra said the same thing. Elio, what kind of cycle is Golbez trying to break? The infinite cycle of no one can die in the 13th Yu-Gi-Oh! You either get eaten, and when you get eaten, you get absorbed into someone else, or you like die and then come back. So it's basically the end of an infinite hell purgatory. Yeah, Theodore was his name in 4. Yeah. Yoshi-P. Every player also already knew the patch date after they saw the announcement for the producer live letter. I guess it follows the pattern at this point. Yep, we all did. Whoever hasn't done the Star of World Quest series yet, please take this opportunity to do so. It is packed with a bunch of love for mecha anime. I have the thing from Pandemonium is Pandemonium. Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised, based on last time, I wouldn't be surprised if those were P9 and P11 respectively, or P9 and P10. Super Frankie, good to glad to have you. The patch comes out on my birthday, now I'm super excited. That's awesome! Well, happy early birthday to you. Nothing new of note yet. Oh, Foxon, I see we also get more Hildebrand quests. Yoshi-P, yes, and they might lead to some unexpected discoveries this time around. More Splendorous Tools, more further Manderville. And this is the part where they announce it's going to be tomes and everyone gets salty. And Jade cries a little bit on the inside. Is the final tier usually harder or easier than the previous tiers in the expansion? It depends. Nick, sometimes it's a course correction tier, sometimes it's a hard... In theory, it should be harder. In practice, it really grossly depends. Like Alexander being a good example. In some ways, O12S is harder than O8S. But, like... It also depends. The other thing is that it depends also on the type of mechanics and the level to which players struggle with them. Because in theory, you could have something that is more mechanically complex, but easier for players to get down. Worth noting that the moon of the 13th is red, which is the same color as the moon you go into in 4. Yep, exactly, green caps. Yep. This mean Cloud of Darkness is somewhere, right? The Cloud of Darkness, in theory, should still be somewhere in the 13th. We defeated it, but that would have only held it at bay. It wouldn't have killed it when we defeated it in the 13th. So defeating him has plans to lure heroes to create light flood of sorts. Here to create a light flood of sorts. Well, so remember, guys, the 13th cannot be rejoined with the source. Because it's already been tilted, a calamitous event cannot happen on it currently, and there's no way for it to be rejoined without restoring it. That is, like, made explicit during... Well, explicit, hyper explicit in 5.0. I've come around to because by 7.0 you get the Manderville relics with Poetics and Eureka will be 2-for-1 deal. Now you're on my side, Jade. I can see P11 being Pandemonium, P12 being some warp version of La Habrea and another door boss or something like that. Yeah, totally, Gary. That reminds me... Oh, here. We got a little more. Not much about the upgrade methods will change. Please enjoy the content you like while upgrading your weapons. Yep, it's tomestones. What they're saying is it's tomestones. Some of the scenes you've seen in the trailer of the dungeon might have reminded players of Heaven's Word. Yes, some of these places definitely reminded me of like the Hinterlands and some other places. Which makes sense if you think about Hom and its location, proximity to the Hinterlands. Marlene, good to glad to have you. If they're going all in FFXVI and the MSQ, do you think they will see Zero Mess? I think some version of Zero Mess. It may be a very loose interpretation, but I would be not surprised at all if we didn't see some version of Zero Mess in either the 6.x patch or in 7.0. Final Fantasy 14 Tears of the Anabasio's Kingdom. That reminds me, I recently watched the patch trailer. It's trailer 4.2 ending with Kefka's face. Laugh so good, yeah. No, do we think the flood of Umbral Aether into the source be the trigger point for the radical change for 7.0? So, I don't think, even if you open up the Void Gate, that you're going to have the issue of a flood of... Well, also, it wouldn't be Umbral Aether, it'll be Astral Aether. the 13th is astral, not umbral. The darkness is astral and change, and the astrality of the 13th in it breaking itself apart is why there's no there can be no ethereal sea and why no one can die. I don't know that astral aether would flood in. I think what would happen is Void Set would have ready access, and that would be a broad problem on a number of levels. But the ranging implications, I mean, there's any number of implications that could be a byproduct of that. Just pull a Flood of Light to restore the 13th and rebalance the 13th. But that wouldn't restore the 13th, is the problem. So, like, the thing is that you would need to pull in all the Aether of the source. You would need to if you pulled in all the Aether of the source, it wouldn't redress the balance. And then if you pulled in all the Umbral Aether of the first, you would destroy the first, and also the portals aren't big enough to pull in all the Aether. Effectively, it would just be a rejoining, which you need to break the walls, the barriers between completely. 12, good to go have you. Colin, we're gonna get to the source and 13th moons, both being in the sky above the source leading in 7.0 over the 2 moons imagery. Colin, we're gonna get the source and 13th moon both being in the sky above the source leading to... I don't think so, but hey, you know, I mean, the thing is, you know, we already had that once before Dalamud fell, but... Maybe. I've said this the last time as well, but I honestly believe there are a lot of players who never did Zervan. This is going to be fun, because Zervan's the next Unreal. And now, finally, the conclusion of Pandemonium's story in Anabasios. Anabasios Savage. The raid will be released 1 week after 6.4. They've been doing that all this raid tier, and I think they're going to stick with it into the future, based on their comments. Do you think we saw the Giant of Babel? I don't know, especially because the Tower of Babel has already been done. You know, we already had Zot and Babel from earlier in 6.0 proper, but... This is the second Toast patch? Yes. Or could it be there's just one more? No. This is the second... Oh, second Tomes patch. No, this is the third Tomes patch, actually. So, it's probably going to be Tomes all the way down. If there was a bunch of Void Saint gathering on the moon, would that mean that we'd be seeing Lunar Cries a la 8? Yeah, I think AC was getting at the same thing. I think that could be something. How they would manifest, though, without kind of making Mare cut out as a map, or, like, what they would do with the Loporits is anyone's guess. Dalamud 2, Darkness Boogaloo. What if the 1st and 13th just do a straight rejoining? So, Gary, I was explaining that. The 1st and the 13th cannot rejoin to each other. Oh, well, I didn't explain this. The shards cannot rejoin to each other. Because what a rejoining is, calamitous event happens on a shard that has been tilted towards a specific alignment. At the same time, a calamitous event happens on the source that breaks its wall down, and the shard is pulled, the reflection is pulled back into the source. The shards aren't pulled into each other. The reflections don't, like, even if you cause them to both to be tilted, they wouldn't be pulled into each other. They only get pulled back into the source if you do a rejoining. So 6.4 basically a Ragnarok type thing? Not necessarily. We don't know. We don't know how it'll play out. We know things are going to go to shit, but we don't know how much we're going to be able to stop them. We don't know how much the plan might be tilted in one direction or another. Unfortunately, the Manderville weapons are just a comedy skip plus tome dumps. I feel like that's unfair. I mean, like, the thing is that the Manderville weapons are also, like, one of the best solo duties in the game was last time. But yeah, I also think the thing is, you say tome dump, but, like, for me as a player, that's been great, because it means I can, like, log on whenever I've got free time, do a couple dungeons, and make progress, instead of having to do one specific, or whatever type of content. I can do Eureka Orthos, or whatever content, right? So, I mean, like, I feel like you could say the same thing, like, well, sadly, Eureka weapons are just a FF11 clone, you know? I mean, if you want to, I feel like you could be uncharitable any direction on that. I know some people are frustrated by the tomes, so I get that, but I think, like, saying that they're complete without value is... I mean, like, it'd be like if the Bosnia one's like, well, you know, Bosnia is just a frickin' fate farm, you know? There are a lot of characters tied into the story. A lot of you probably have forgotten already, but in the ending of the expansion X.0 patch story always ends with a teaser to the raid story. That's how we started here. We can finally see how it all ends. Same as last time, Savage will be released 1 week after the normal mode, so that puts Savage to the release on the 30th. The new variant Criterion dungeon will be packed with content as well. To show it to players who haven't done the previous version, we will get an explanation on how it works again later. You don't have to do the first Criterion variant dungeon to challenge this new one. They are separate. So all the Criterion variants are separate. And it's Mount Rukon, and they haven't stated it yet, but it's going to be Hingen. I'm fairly confident. I, for one, am really happy the tome system lets me pick up what I want to do. Yeah. Do you think if Eorzean you still had some spicy food, the gate would become aligned with fire aether? I don't think that's how it works, but... Black Flame, good to have, yeah. I'd rather buy a token to upgrade weapons than to grind 100 of fates for the chance of the token to drop. Yeah. Second stage Manderville looks really cool and have the easiest method to get relic weapons, which I love. Look, I get that it's not as engaging. I know the arguments for a lot of people and they want a specific grind. I totally get that. I would just say that, like, somehow the specific Bawzia grind is, like, objectively better rather than preferentially better is I would say that I personally have preferred the domes. The second, the rejoining isn't something like how the Tales of Symphonia did with the two worlds, Silverant and Tethalia, coming together. Sarah, good to have you. I like the tomes. Eureka has the most of my favorite relics that have been completed, but the tomes are so nice. Yeah. Has anything come out about the weapon contest? I keep feeling that I missed the announcement of some kind. Rui, good to have you. And do you mean the if the weapons have come out? So historically, when the weapons or armors contests happen, the items don't end up in the game for anywhere between like 6 months to 2 years. So they announced winners, but when they will show up in the game is anyone's guess. Wait, so variant is on patch drop, not a sub patch? Yes, as far as I know. We'll see. Well, they'll confirm it for sure. Also job adjustments coming in 6.4. While you're at it, might as well just replay the whole thing with New Game Plus. The whole, like, story. They will want to try to get the rest of 4.x dungeon support in the next patch. Emphasis on try. So for 6.5, they're going to try to finish off all of Stormblood so that the duty support and trust system will be complete for everything. Rokon is 6.45. Thank you, guys. That would make more sense. Whoever created Hilly's stories need to calm down. I get sore from all the laughter. I definitely am feeling more attachment to the Manderville weapons than I did the Bawzia weapons personally. Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like the aesthetic. The thing that's important to me about the relic aesthetics is that each relic series is wildly different because, you know, some years you may not, some patch cycles the relic weapons may not do a bunch for you, but they may do a lot for someone else, and like having a wide variety is better, you know. My issue with the relic weapons is that I want something to do to get the tomes, then to use tomes to buy the next weapon instead. Do something to get the tomes. Well, so Alexander, I don't know if this is helpful, and this isn't. It gives you a goal, right? If you would specifically do it, if it had a specific task. But like, go farm minions, go farm songs, go work on your light for Eureka Orthos. Go, you know, like there's tons of things you could be building up for and doing killing, you know, two birds, one stone. Yeah, Yoshi-P, show us the boss. I'm starving. Yeah, that blue mage is pimping, quite literally. I see, time to grind machinist for the most Portuguese gun ever made. I'm no longer just a broken record about the tomes in the Twitter video auto-playing that you can't get to boss. Jade. I think the twins are using the Tower of Babel to use the laser to plug up Zodiark's big hole if any voids and try to break through, or to drill a void gate in Zodiark's big old hole. AC, I think so too. I think the blue energy too would connect it to the Aether font. But I will have a speculation video on the trailer out after this live later. I saw you guys were afraid that there wouldn't be any blue update in 6.x, but here we are. We'll get a demo of the blue mage later, showcasing the and a demo showing the updates to ocean fishing. And now the talking about the new tomestones of comedy. Which, hilarious. And if you don't know, tomestones are just a USB thumb drive. This is what a tombstone is. So a tombstone of comedy is a thumb drive with a bunch of Allegan memes on it. There you go. Jared, good to see you, glad to have you. You think that Westgalber had his best head statement? What did they have stated, Jade? I want just more glaive style weapons for Dragoon. Yeah. My fault for being almost level 99 and 90 in all jobs. Yeah, Alexander. I have that. Yep, I feel that. God, I really wish comedy tombstones were just crying, laughing emojis. Oh, you know what? Let me pull it up. I made, speaking of, I made this for someone, because someone made that exact same comment, Jade. So I made this. This is a tombstone of comedy. You're welcome. The English name was not taken as comedy in the sense that everyone knows. Okay. What was the Japanese? Let me look at the Japanese name. Arugon Tombstone. Oh, okay, interesting. It's not. There's a different insinuation in Japanese with the like kanji. It's not like comedy in the same way you think of. Warcraft took the world and changed it completely. Yeah. The answers use chakram glaives, historic weapons, form. The cost of previous step will be cheaper in the next patch, right? Right. Probably not, but it'll be a different tombstone, so you'll be able to do. At some point, you'll probably be able to do 2 at a time, but we'll see. I want to know ancient memes that we wouldn't understand. Wesk made like a 15-minute yesterday about the relics, and pretty much exactly how I feel about it. Is it this? Well, but Jade, so Jade, you just said you were feeling a little different. So are you saying how you feel about it now, or how you felt about it a while ago? I'll just work off something. You should pitch. We have seen them make all the cell phone cover. Yeah. Rowena will give you a god-killing gear because she wants to see the old Algon sitcoms. Theatrical comedy. I mean, Lynn, my assumption was a theatrical comedy. So honestly, if that's what they meant like a comedy in a classical sense, I guess I would still see that as same. Comedy as in drama, yeah. Wait, are we expecting another ultimate? I think they said didn't they say something about 1.6.5? Do you speak Japanese? Yeah, ちょっとだけ。あと僕の日本語は。In fact, I think some dancer weapons are actually cool. No news ults as far as no new ults. Okay. It must have been a while ago that I think they said something about potentially squeezing 3 in if they had time, and then there's been no news on it. That must be what I'm thinking of. We decided to just unlock all gear sets unrelated to your level progress. So. The transaction fee for items sold on the market board can now be incorporated into their total price. Okay, hell yes, that's awesome. Glasses and wing fashion accessory will now display when engaged in battle in the overworld. Oh, that's going to be big for some of you guys. For you glamour fiends, glasses and wings can now be as part of the overworld. Items stored in the variety of locations can now be selected when casting glamours in an in-room. So from like, you could just select from cast glamour, glamour dress, or armoire. Elegance had a pretty sick sense of humor, so imagine their comedy to be sadistic. Well, it depends, right? Like there were people in Alag who fought for good, who were righteous, and those who weren't. And it also depends. If you're talking about like late Alag, there was a lot more of that than in earlier Alag. But yeah, what I said was I was okay with it. I was mostly joking and shilling the best content in the game. Okay, you were just joking for Eureka. What do you mean an increase to gear sets? I don't know what we didn't say an increase to gear sets, so. I play a game and watch show that falls it means I can store a bunch of stuff in my armoire that's currently in my glam dresser. Yes! Can finally have my Fey wings. Yeah, so many people are gonna be running around with them gold wings. Tam, 100% feel same. That exact same here. I can essentially Eldar from the 40k without the demon sex god end result. Well, yeah, there's an interesting parallel there. Yeah, if you take that history of a shorter period of time, right? Because you got early. Yeah, okay. You know what? There's an interesting parallel there. There's an interesting parallel for sure. But it's not just that. Yeah, it's like the Eldar and Dark Eldar like all conjoined into one broad history. Finally, I don't need to plan anymore when I'm farming fates. Now I can just swing it. Thank you, V, for getting Yu-Gi-Oh! Wonder how many other types of fashion accessories they'll add in the future, backpacks, capes, etc. We'll see. Yeah. Anyone's question. Decide to unlock all gear sets unrelated to your level of progress. Okay. The reason the dresser and the armoire are not implemented with each other is rather simple. We developed them at completely different times, and the people responsible for the code were also different. And for the coders in the audience, I probably don't have to explain how much trouble it is to work through and with someone else's code. V, would you care to laugh and cry maniacally? The return of belts. God, Quinn, no. Good to see you, glad to have you. Yeah, mood, Tam, mood. Yeah, that would be a mess. Yeah. No, that's what the reason we've known for a while. Yes! Okay, tell me. Come on, give me a slight buff. Just a little bit of a buff. Just a little bit of buff. I just need a teeny bitty buff. Itty bitty paladin buff. Just a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Primarily made balance adjustments to damage output within each role. No large-scale changes implemented. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
基本的にそのロール内での火力バランスの調整っていうのをメインにやって
Alexander, that's a pitch. Sloth, good to see you. Glad to have you. Debuff the paladin. What do you mean debuff the paladins? Sloth, paladins have literally do the lowest damage. Why would you? What do you mean debuff them? They have the lowest output. Be soon. Good to see you. Glad to have you. Final extreme mount is gonna be, yeah. I mean, honestly, it could go any direction, right? Like, who would have predicted Mecha Bahamut? I don't have a good thought off the top of my head. Like they should. I'm not sure. I'm assuming you're just trolling because I'm not sure where you're coming from on that. Extended the radius of several party buffs to 30 yalms. Cool. Mainly buffs to abilities that contribute to increased damage dealt or reduce damage taken. Nice, nice. Debuff all tank damage? Why? Yep, they did it. Everyone gets a buff. Yep. Reaper mains, final days are upon us. You get a buff. You get a buff. Let's go, dude. I've missed 20 yalm buffs so many times it sucks. Yeah. Actually, wait. Is this divine? Please tell me divine circle. Here, I'm gonna pull up. In JP region, we get a lot of feedback on Dark especially. The other 3 tanks will be buffed. Oh, okay. Hey, check this out. Okay, specifically, no rotation damage, mainly DPS balance with the rim roll. The 3 tanks will be, the other 3 tanks other than Dark Knight will be buffed. The next point is mainly for the Raiders. This is mainly for Raiders. You can reach players that are further away. This does not include things like heal range. It is only about party buffs. So your Black Mage still has to be close. Your Black Mage can't be standing, you know, forever away. Fuck your ley lines. Divine Veil. Oh, dude, I hope, dude, if Divine Veil gets doubled, if Divine Veil gets increased to 30, that's gonna be everything to me. Make healing not as boring as sin. Extended range, that's huge. One big buffs and I cannot lie. Can't wait to see what weapons we get from the Power Rangers looking villain. Stares at the words in the second point in Machinist. What's a party buff? Are those neat little icons that show up on my bar sometime? I mean, you have them now. Wait, why is Dark Knight getting buffed but Gunbreaker is what? Jade, I don't have an answer for you. I was wondering that too. Like, Wart and Paladin I got, but like, why Gunbreaker? Kindle, good to see, glad to have you. Offended Black Mage noises. Glad I picked Gunbreaker for the next tier. Yeah. Well, especially because Dark Knight still has to deal with more bullshit too. Yeah, hitboxes are so huge. There were parts of P8S where you could make 30 yalm buffs hit, but not 20 yalm ones, and it sucked. Yeah. Gunbreaker's still winning. As Dark Main, I am probably okay with this. Yeah, Lynn, you won't see many problems out of that. But it's interesting that Gunbreaker is. I'll be curious to see what they do. Yoshi-P says, no chat, ley lines won't be a 30-meter radius. Okay, some other quality of life. Paladin Execution of Atonement will no longer interrupt a combo. Woo! Dragoon Jump and High Jump will no longer affect the character's position as recognized by the server. In accordance with the change, both actions can now be performed while bound. Solid. Yoshi-P was considering on making an original tank class, like a never-before-seen class. Lars, good to see, glad to have you. So his comment was specifically, he was talking about, with the Final Fantasy XI team, and saying that eventually, with 14, when they make some new jobs, they're gonna have to make them completely new without being a reference to older Final Fantasies, because they were running out of things that they could reference. He did not say all new jobs, I just want to be, because some people have stated this, he did not say all new jobs will be completely original, and he did not say any specific role would be. So.
ちらちょっと見た目挙動も変わってますんで、そういう意味だと。
Divine Comedy. Yeah, the Dragoon change is so odd, but I get it. Yeah, it's gonna look and be weird, Jade, but it's good. It's for the best. Trust me, it's a good change. Yeah, it's definitely a good change. And Lars, the interview is Yoshi-P's talking. It's like a We Are Vanna deal interview. It's if you want to ever look that up, because if you want to look at like specific language he uses.
それでは続いて次のブロックへ参りたいと思います。続いてはこちらです。はい。
Okay. Yoshi-P, we are still thinking about implementing these Dragoon changes in 7.0, but we decided to have them now. It will still look like you're jumping, but your coordinates will not be moved, so no risk of jumping into AoEs. The other roles are getting adjustments too, not just tanks, but those details will be in the patch notes. They already did this with the Endwalker with Reaper being completely original and Sage just bare. Well, I mean, but like... But like Reaper is kind of rooted in like some versions of Dark Knight in 11 and other things. Sage just bears an existing job name while being completely different. Except for like other than like the new list stuff, sure, but like there are aspects of Sage having replayed 3, Sage in 3, Sage in 4, and Sage in 5, or well, in checking that there are things it's hearkening to. I think you could say the same thing to that extent about things like Astrologian is based off of a job and tactics that you can't even play as, right? But yeah, all that to say that like there will be jobs that are completely brand new to this Final Fantasy series for 14, but that does not mean that is the only thing we're gonna see. They may still do things like Geomancer or whatever, you know. Beginning in Season 7, players who place within the top 100 rankings or Diamond tier above will receive additional rewards, including the item that will allow them to apply an effect to Hellhound weapons. Oh, why? Oh, this is the one thing that I was hoping that they... This is the one fucking thing I didn't want them to do, to make things like rewards like that were... like hyper-specific aesthetic rewards that you... This is just the thing that I hated about the fucking feast. Man, that kind of blows. I want Thief class with Thief Swords from FF9. Knowing when you couldn't jump was definitely a skill thing, but I get doing away with it. Yeah. Well, right, because Jade, like, sometimes there was a skill of, like, the skill of knowing not to do it, but also, you know, like, how you would sometimes just lose out on DPS from that shit, too. Beastmaster or nothing. I want Beastmaster as a limited job so bad. Can you imagine adding like a Pokemon style thing as a side piece of content? Be so fun. Yeah. This is going to bring sweats to PvP now, yeah. A job with spirit swords like Noctis magic. Yeah, that could be something. And I'm kind of confused by them choosing to do that with the reward system, because like right now the problem is not that people are doing it. The problem is that you end up with a bunch of the same people in the top rungs anyways. It's like, I don't know why they're trying to incentivize people to get into the top places. I feel like what they should be doing is incentivizing people to at least fight to try and get into like gold. Not the top 100. I think they made that change specifically from complaints after the latest EX trial. For Dragoon, Lily, give us the Ascian job already. 1, what even would an Ascian job be? 2, no, they're not gonna give you a fucking bad guy job. Beastmaster, but only on Island Sanctuary. Ah, yes, how to troll the entire player base. Turn Kingslave into a job. Why? Yeah. I don't know if one class being better or worse than another with uptime is really an issue, but I guess the devs do. Well, so the thing is like. It's not necessarily a huge problem in most forms of content, but it can make a meaningful difference for high-end and, like, Savage, especially, like, early weeks. And also can, like, just feel bad to be playing Dragoon and be like, I know I can't attack right now, and now I'm not going to attack, and now it's going to start to throw my rotation off, and, you know. Ascian job would be being an asshole. You mean no Ascian Glam? I mean, they already kind of have Ascian Glam. You have the coat basically exists, and then you also, yeah. Next 2 jobs, Ascian and Necromancer. Yes, okay, V, just troll me. Frontline adjustments, come on, give me some good news.
てますので、1個ずつ見ていきましょう。
No.
まず
Yoshi-P, we didn't make them too fancy, but with a lot of attention detail. That's the new staff effects that they were showing off. That's all for PvP. Oh well, guess Frontlines is not PvP. Okay, that's definitely an upgrade. That's a much better UI. The latency extra allowed a mech that bound you and you weren't able to jump, it would potentially mess up your rotation. Right. With Rubes during the plate spin. Right, Lou. Makes sense. Ascian job would include orchestrating everything bad that's happening to the world, not judging with 6.4 trailer, we're about to do just that. I think trying to save the world and causing and accidentally having ill effect is not us being an Ascian. I mean, like, you could say that you know, we're partially responsible for what happens in 2.55, but that's not, you know, on us. Much nicer, yeah. Shiny HUD, me likey. Instead of Ascian job, how about just send everyone to Nagsha. I do wish that they incentivize players to play Rival Wings. It's a good PvP mode. I just, honestly, idea. I love Rival Wings so much. All they have to do is make a Rival Wings roulette. Really, that would do it. Like, that would solve, like, 99% of the problem. You would still potentially not get a ton of matches, but you'd be able to get a match a day, you know? Catmancer job. Trying to save the world and causing ill effect, isn't that exactly what the Ascians were doing from their POV? No, because from their standpoint, what they were doing was not an ill effect. What they were doing was a good effect. Trying to save the world and accidentally in the process damning it is not the same thing as intentionally ruining the world because you think it's for the betterment of your people, right? Balance and change-wise, I expect Bards and change and Sam buff and Paladin getting like 2% damage buff. Something like that, yeah. Yoshi-P, if you're used to the old one and don't like the new one, you can change back to the old UI. Why would you ever want to change back to the old UI? It's terrible. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's like, this is good. This is really good. Whenever I talk about PvP, some people in chat get angry. Please don't be angry. We have so much different content for everyone. Apparently people don't like when they spend any energy or time on PvP. Every job is competitive after 6.25, yeah. I have no idea how to play Rival Wings, I just wing it, pun not intended. I mean, Rival Wings is just a MOBA. It's fun. I just want Blitzballer in the game. Lil, me too. I'm a huge Final Fantasy X stan, and I desperately want Blitzballer in the game. Or at least, I don't know, give dancers a Blitzball glam. We already need more Fizz range jobs, but the role could also be filled by a gambler, but Blitzball is more visually interesting to me. I mean, the thing is that you can combine the two ideas, right? Because the thing is that gambling, like, you have the slots mechanism with Waka. I think you just combine those two identities into one. To relive the old days, I actually like PvP. Yeah, me too, Rui. I have no idea how to... Oh, no. Yoshi-P says, no, I'm not mad, but people in chat are fighting with each other over whether or not PvP is good or not. A bunch of... Man, so many people lately... Final Fantasy... General statement to me, to myself as well. All of us, take a deep breath, touch some grass, and remember, we're here to enjoy the game. We're here to enjoy the game. And sometimes that means other people getting put into content that's not the content you want. That's because there's other people with different preferences. It's a very wide game. It's a very wide game, and it's healthy because there's many different types of things to do. It's all good. It's all good. Raven, good to see you. Glad to have you. How's your vacation? Borderland Ruins is unavailable. Damn you, Fandenda. Yes, it's gonna be. I've started capturing archival footage because we don't know if we're gonna get it back. Because the last time they did that, the last time they made something unavailable, we're not gonna get it again. Yeah, damn you, Fandaniel. Oh no, he succeeded at card now. Hey man, I like the MOBA PvP. It could be done really fast. Yeah, the Rival Wings, Amar. Yeah. Okay, so this is the changes that they're at. So this is what is before. Oh wow. Okay, it's just way more just straight up. It's you're funneled into like straight going at each other. I like it. I like it. Although it's gonna... You know what? Actually, since I've been playing a lot of Scholar Urban PvP, actually, I think I like that quite a bit. Playing Paladin in PvP in Frontlines is a nightmare. But, yeah. My spy method of sealing bases. Alex, yep, I do that shit too. Oh, imagine symmetry. Archon Tomelets have been removed and thus can no longer be occupied for data.
しかし参加が出ると今日ゼルダにみんな結びつけるトライフォースって言われてる。はい。選挙によるスコア獲得がなくなります。はい。でその代わりですね。
Interesting.
次。
Perhaps Alexander, perhaps. Stealing bases was the best part. Yeah, I just played Paladin, Tomo, and I would just like, that's basically all I would do because I love playing Paladin too much, but Paladin sucks in front line. It really does. And so I would just be like, okay, I'm just gonna steal bases. And it worked. It worked real well. Large and small icebound tomeless will now respawn. Oh, interesting. Oh, that's interesting.
はい、こういろんなとこで展開するっていう形になるんで、これかなりQA チームにも
That's fascinating. Okay, so bases are gone. And now it's large and small tomeless just keep respawning.
まあこれは良い変化なんじゃないかなとは。
Interesting. I mean, that makes sense for pushing people into actively just team fighting over and over again. Like, making front lines so instead of being objective-based, it's literally just team fight, team fight, team fight, team fight, is not what I necessarily want, but at least focusing on that being the primary focus is way better. Like, instead of splitting it. Data acquired from defeating other players is unchanged. Okay. Every triangle is being connected to Zelda today. They're pointing out how the new map came out and everyone was saying like, "Oh God, Zelda!" The part of the reasons why they're changing is we understand the terrain wasn't easy to navigate. To understand better, here's the in-game map. Left side is how it looks currently. Right side is how it looks now. Every job is better in CC. Yeah, Paladin is far better in CC. Paladin's great in CC. I'm great. I do perfectly well in Crystal Gleam Conflict, but in Frontlines it's garbage. Every job is better in CC other than maybe Scholar. Yeah, yeah. Well, Summoner's not better in CC. Summoner in Frontlines can just wreck house. Do you do it while you're on the snowman mount? No, I use the crab mount because it's the smallest mount in the game that like is very low profile, so no one sees you coming. Quinn. So they're gonna keep. They're also used in 3.4 or 3.5. They're used in a couple different, as well as flashes to in 2.x. And card now is used in 5.55 as well. So the thing is that map will continue to be around to some extent. But its existence as a PvP map will probably be either changed or no longer exist. Brian, good to see, glad to have you. I play Monk in PvP privately. Yeah, make the Phantom Train a PvP map. As a dueling map, I'd take that. But the snowman you blend into the background. That's tactics. That's tactics. Have a good drive, Raven. Wish they would let us queue with friends in CC. Yeah, the problem with Soul Suit, I don't know if you've done like played a lot of like MOBAs, things like you know, your Paragons, your Smites and stuff. What really sucks though is that if you're someone who doesn't have friends or wants to play solo, if you go in as one person and you get put in with a 5-stack, or it's a 3 and a 2-stack versus a 5-stack, it just doesn't. It's not fun. And so what I would say is, if they said that, okay, you can stack as a 5-stack, but that means you will only be put up against other 5-stacks, I'd be down, you know? I'm torn on that. As someone who tends to end up playing PvP alone. Oh! Okay. As Yoshi-P, as always, if you provide feedback, we will look into it, keep adjusting. New trial, the Voidcast Dias. We will give a live demo. He's preparing to enter the instance. Safely, please give us a bit. And then he got into the instance. Give me a second to... Garrett, yeah. Brunchies. So, okay, so you can definitely see the Mare of the 13th. It's interesting that there is a moon on every reflection, because the moon was created by Hydaelyn, and thus it was not a byproduct of the sundering, and would have been her manufacturing one on each reflection. Cube. That's tactics. That's tactics. Me. You mean that's FF tactics. They're straight up showing us the trial, huh? I wonder what that means they're not showing us. Yeah, Lynn. I mean, to be fair, they've done that quite a few times. But yeah, you gotta wonder, right? If they're gonna if they don't mind showing this, what will they show? And for those of you who've been watching our streams of Endwalker and Shadowbringers lately, they, you know, the amount of stuff they reveal in trailers that you're thinking like, how are they revealing all this stuff? And then it's like not even like 1% of the important shit is crazy. I mean, she'd have to have built a prison for the Zodiac Shard in every reflection, no? Yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. It makes total sense. It's just interesting to know. Gotta house a part of Zodiac in every reflection somehow. Right, absolutely. It's not... It's the logical assumption, right? But it's just interesting that because you'll see like the Mare looks like a mirror copy, but the reason that the first and the Source are mirror copies is because of the Sundering, whereas this is just because Hydaelyn effectively created 14 moons that are all the exact same. Zodiac was sundered and the moon is his prison. Yes. Yes, I'm aware. Guys, I play this game a lot. I run a lore channel. I know. They did show the gameplay of us using Godbert, yeah. Same blueprints, or red prints in this case, yeah. Does that mean that there are Loporrits equivalent on each reflection of the moon? The fact that, I don't think so. Because think about it, the Loporrit plan was the only plan for the Exodus was ever for the Source. There was no plan of the Exodus, as far as we know, for anywhere but the Source. We knew that if the Source fell, the other reflections would fall without hope or any way to save them. You also can see that there's no structure in the background here, and that is, you would see it, well, I don't know, I'm pointing at my own screen, you can't see me that. You would see it behind where Golbez was. So no, I do not believe so. Curious, it's a red moon like in 4. Yeah, I think it's definitely just, it's definitely to be harkening on to 4, for sure. Yes, Brian, I do play a lot of Final Fantasy 14. I know, it's crazy. This cube was made just for this fight, and it surely wasn't the Warrior of Light who created it. Yoshi-P, you guys in chat have funny imaginations. The cube will turn, expand, oh, who knows? But now that our devs have heard those ideas, maybe eventually we'll implement something like that. Foxon, I think I've seen that mechanic before. Yeah, some of these other mechanics. Oh, look at that half moon sweep. That's good shit. Yoshi, no! Yep. Here, let's go back. We'll go back real quick to show what we're talking about. Honestly, that Fire and Ice deck also kind of reminds me of a little bit of like Elidibus's. That reminds me of Yotsuyu a little bit. Emmett's during phase 1. Although that was ice elementally aspected instead of like darkness. We fight on a Minecraft server. Oh god, it's a fall off the edge fight. I'm in danger. Yeah, you guys are gonna have to be very careful about your placement. Well, we don't know that they're killed, Tracy. We don't. And why? Because it's characterly motivating for a character. It would be. There's a lot of things that it can be done from a character standpoint for people like Vritra. The sweep reminds me of Slope. Yeah, our Ilbirds. Foxconn, I think I've seen that mechanic before referring to the Emmett thing, Yoshi-P, but that's how you know it works, right? He shows you mechanic one by one, and then obviously you're instantly ready to combine them all. So basically he's going to use all these in isolation, and then he's going to start combining them together. Can't wait for Dragon King Emmett Exchange. The first brood are Yoshi-P's punching bags. To be fair, he didn't write any, like, the Ratatosker fate, Ratatosker and Nidhogg's fate are due to the writer for 16. The fate of ARR, I'm forgetting who wrote that, but Bahamut is different. Tiamat to be fair, under Ishikawa's wing, Tiamat has had a better fate, right? Friendly reminder that if you want access to our fun emotes, you can join Archon for $1 and get access to all sorts of fun emotes like Slope. Okay, it's decided Golbez is Ilbert's spirit possessing a set of armor. Yep, clearly. I'm pretty sure from the trailer that Shadow Dragon is not Azdaia. Looking at her head, it is Azdaya's head. And the dialogue that was given makes me think that actually I think it is. I think he does successfully corrupt her. However, it could be that something consumes her instead. But it is her. It is the same model head. So that's of interesting note. Under Ishikawa's wing, yeah. Before the trailer came out, I had a brief idea we would be facing old villains for previous expansions in the main series. Yeah. Jolly, good to see, glad to have you.
武器デザインコンテストをやらせていただいたじゃないですか。
Oh, hey, they're talking about the design contest. Enough teasing of the trial we just saw. Also, it's important to note that what we just saw for that trial was only the normal mode. Yoshi-P says, oh, I forgot to show some prints earlier, but we do, so we got to do that before the next segment, but that's for the design contest, and he's going to show them. Do you think they'd ever add a registerable super fate system for the overworld like Seas and Falls? I've been waiting for that. I want it. I want it. I want it. It's so pretty. I want that on my paladin. Nick, I feel like mechanically they said they gave reasons why they didn't necessarily plan to do that or want to do that. And I think that would be kind of I don't think that would work very well. There was a technical reason they said that they can't do it unless it's an instance zone like Bosnia or Eureka. Oh god, that's so pretty. Honestly, my first and foremost is just to me retroactively add bicolor gemstone system to all fates zones in the entire game first. Like that's step one to me. No, maybe next relic step. However, I don't think that this is next relic step. These are just the contest winners, but it would make sense to. It'd be a good place to use them. Azaya is pretty, and I'm looking at her. I'm excited for this patch. Yeah, same Kindle. I want that axe. It's a good axe. It's a Monster Hunter axe. Yeah, that saw is definitely a Monster Hunter weapon. Dark sword's beautiful. Yeah, really pretty. Nice sword. Ayo, the gunblade. Yeah, they're all looking real pretty. Oh, he said something about tombstone weapons. Give me a second. Let me reread this. He said something about them being tombstone weapons. I don't know if that means Manderville, and I don't know if that means like for instance the weapons for level 90 tombstones, but we'll see. Can I just say I find Yoshi-P always holding up literal prints on paper to be incredibly endearing? V, me too. Me too. Me too. I like the monk weapon even though I'm against glove monk weapons. See, my thing, Alexander, is I always do bare fists, but if the thing is like monk weapons that are like low enough profile that are fist weapons, they might finally get me to use just bare fists, because I've used the Emperor's New Fist for forever. I land some aesthetic, I'm playing monk next year. Oh, Jade. That lance turned out good, yeah. I love that katana because it's not super flashy. It's not super ostentatious. Also, does it have a Wazakashi attached to it? I guess this is probably not a Wazakashi. That's probably a, oh my god. Fuck. But yeah. It's so he can't leak stuff and I love it. Kettle Nex is the best monk. Kitchen Ninja Knives, yeah. Oh, simple, beautiful katana. Glad I'm leveling Sam finally. Tonto. Well, Tonto would be shorter. Tonto would be like this size. Right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Tonto's blade length isn't more than 12 inches. So. Blade length. Let me look at what's it. 36. Yeah, okay, Wakizashi. Yeah, it would be a Wakizashi. Unusable Wakizashi. Yeah. Bow is gorgeous. That is a porcelain firearm. That thing's gonna blow itself apart in a moment. Bare fist. Of course you would, Atelier. The Portugun. It lives. Whoever was asking about this, you picked the right stream. The Portugun is real. Just in time for us to go back to Hingashi. We're going back to Dejima, baby. Or Kugane. He's just trying to figure out which way he's supposed to be held. Do these design katanas actually end up in the game? Yes, Jared, they're ending up in the game. These are actually, I think some of these are renders. These are not even the art from the contest. Some of those are actual renders. They had a comment about them in tombstones, but it wasn't clear if they were saying, The only note that I have with this is that they are tombstone weapons. However, it's not clear if they're saying they're tombstones for the Manderville or for something else. So don't take that to heart. And also, because all I have is that one line, I can't tell for sure what the context is. So that may even be wrong, but that seems to be. Is that a lantern? Honestly, that lantern just makes me think of Litwick from Pokemon. Yeah, just get Soul Calibur Cassandra swords, basically. I mean, it's almost like more, instead of Necromancer, it's almost like Charon, right? Like guiding the souls of the dead. Oh, that's a fair point, V. The thing I'd just be surprised by is that they would give those weapons a glow. I mean, maybe I guess they could just add a glow to that. Man, all I know is that that Paladin one is pretty as all hell. That's nice. The books don't look like crap. That's unfair. You can say you don't like the books, but no, we're going back. The book is beautiful. It's just that it's boring because it's a book. That's gorgeous. It's boring as shit, but it's gorgeous. Yep. Yeah, red mage with the element. Anything? Nope. Oh, I like that. Ooh, I might use that for my scholar. I really like that. I love the wood grain. Ooh, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sad. Dude, that globe and the like winning art for that was like one of my favorite pieces overall, but the actual game render I don't think is that good. For everyone who loves those new lists, I'm happy. I deeply am happy for you. I'm very sad that that was the winning new list because that is super an aesthetic I do not care for whatsoever. For every one of you who is hyped as hell for that, I'm happy for you. This is the blue weapon, by the way. So now you can wear your pimp blue mage outfit and wield a umbrella cane. No, they meant the boring as in the book is made out of boar hide. Looks like Ravana's wings. See, I was thinking more Titania style, but yeah. Ironic that we can now wear wings into battle. Yeah, wings for your wings. I only like the claymore inside. Everything else is meh. I mean, here's what I would say. Like, in general, if you like if there's a whole bunch of weapons like that and some of them are meh for you, that's probably good, right? Because it means that if everything was like, okay, this is the best, it means that you're kind of boring because it's just like, okay, I'm gonna do this and now everyone looks the same. I'm personally a fan of, if I love like 2 to 4 of a relic or like whatever, that's optimal for me. Oh. I am erotically excited for that shield. Yeah. Actually, that gear that they have on the background, I don't think we've seen that gear either, though. So maybe that gear is also the new tombstone gear. Never mind, I'm playing Dragoon still. Jade over here oscillating like a motherfucker. I feel like Ellie and I basically have the opposite aesthetics in a lot of ways, and yet I agree with his take on Paladin picture that just showed up. Yeah. I mean, like, look, I'm glad we have opposite aesthetics, right? I want to, like, have a plethora of people, and I don't want to fucking, you know, any of you like play vanilla World of Warcraft and you remember like going in or like, you know, up to a certain point, but in the era before glamour and like transmog was a thing particularly, and everyone just looked the same and there was no identity. Like, I want people to look different, you know? I want to feel like the outfit I chose matters. You know? You know? I think this is the new tome gear. I'll check if we've gotten the weapons are designed, the contest, the gear is designed by the dev team. As far as I can tell, this is the tome gear, based off of and if it is, well, that also would make sense because it's the final, right? But like, dude, all that gear is looking hype. Percy, good to go out of you. It's supposed to be the gear is the raid gear and the weapon is tome. It could be. That may be Jade. Although they didn't look very Anabasios themed, you know? But maybe, yeah. Sage weapon would fit an Eldritch Horror entity. Really? I feel like it would fit like Lai Meg. I think it looks more like Pixies and like Titania and that stuff. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess they're not so different from the aesthetic of P9s. Okay, any other dialogue piece of... Yeah, all the white elements, the white and the blue. Everything uses white or blue. That is very Anabasios theme. You're right. You're right. Okay, Yoshi-P says, my shoulder's giving up. Done for today. Should we start with the live demo of Anabasios? Yes? Sure. I mean, Eldritch did originally meet Fate. Wasn't Eldritch classically more was like unknowable, right? But either way, that's me being pedantic. But yeah, sure. I mean, like, it's actually funny. They use Eldritch a lot to refer to like the magic used in the step too. But clearly, from a colloquial sense, right? Most people would assume something Lovecraftian as opposed to something generally more like Fae or Fairy, right? Fairy in a classic Tolkienian sense versus Fairy in a common, you know, what we would use for like pixie aesthetic for the first, you know. The Kirby eyeball enemy, so I think of that mainly. Interesting. Yoshi-P's shoulders feel bad after carrying the entire Square Enix team. Eldritch versus Eldritch shoulder. Raven, good to glad to have you, Eldritch. Sure, but I think we can all agree, if you say Eldritch, the thing most people immediately think of is Lovecraftian, like is Eldritch horror, right? Like, if you just say Eldritch without even designating Eldritch horror, most people's immediate and mental image is not gonna be like classical fairy, you know, like 18th century fairy story, right? Okay, they're prepping the demo. Okay, cool, they got it going. The name of the boss is Kokyu Tosu. Kokyu Tosu. I don't know what that's referencing, but let me see if I can find it. Cocytus is, in ancient Greek, is the river of wailing in the underworld in Greek mythology. Cocytus flows into the river of Archeon, on the other side of which lies Hades in the underworld, the mythological abode of the dead. There are 5 rivers encircling Hades: the Styx, the Phlegathon, the Lithe, the Acheron, and the Cocytus. Interesting. So it's like an embodiment of the ethereal sea or something like that? Cocytus is the English name of the boss. There is no fence here. It also doesn't look like this breaks. So there's interesting. One of the 4 heads. Yeah, Levi, you guys were on it. It's frozen hell. Cocytus is the frozen lake in the final circle of hell. こんだけくっきりはっきり書かれてるってことはさ、 You guys are saying it's the frozen lake, but like oh, because of the Divine Comedy, it's the frozen lake. Oh, the Divine Comedy uses it that way as opposed to like Paradise Lost and other things don't. Okay, that's why. But it's in Paradise Lost as well, which is probably why obviously they're using it in Pandemonium. Ethereal Sea makes sense. Those pale blue tendrils in the underworld and the source. Yep. Yep, totally, James. Which makes sense because that's where it's now after 2-2. Yep. I wonder if we were going to get Dis and Genna too. Maybe. Maybe. There are lines on the floor. Ooh, it's all broken up. Interesting. Interesting. I like how big that arena is too. I hope we actually get to use it. You see those lines? They're very close inside. So that means we're not going to be using the outside part of the arena. Maybe? I hope. I swear to God, if they do this fight and then you don't use the outside of the arena at all, it's going to make me so sad. Designates safe spot. Divine Comedy, Tonestones of Comedy, it's all coming full circle. Yep. Those sections look like Rubicantes and I don't like it. Flashbacks V. Flashbacks. Ring mechs like in variant dungeons. Kind of. Honestly, I would think more like Rubicante. Or what's another good example? I mean honestly P1. Yes, Cocutus is voiced and its voice is female. Which, I mean, Athena? Rubicante but ice. Yeah, it is speaking. It's voiced and it's what did it say? Let me see if I can try to translate a little bit. Nazeyo. What? Aton no. Oh, fuck. There are a couple of those kanji I don't know. I'll try to look them. I'll try to pull them up in a G show later and see if I can figure out what they're saying. Oh, it's not particularly complicated. Actually, wait. Let me go back. Mekasu. Mekasu Cocutus. I don't know what Mekasu is referring to, but it is Cocutus who's talking. Interesting. It's using Atashi, yeah. Well, people have been wondering where the rest of the Asians are. I guess the answer is maybe. Yeah, we'll see. What if the getting Deliberate flashbacks now? I'm assuming Cocutus is a Hemithioi. Well, Athena's plan did involve them, so it could be. Would potentially make sense. Yoshi-P, you saw a bleed debuff in normal mode. I don't think Savage will leave it at a bleed debuff. We'll get 4 floors. The 4th floor felt fresh, but I think it might be a little difficult even in normal mode. So I think what Yoshi-P here is saying is that P12S is going to be hard. Oh no! Actually, I think he said literally 4 floors. I think he meant like the arena will have 4 different types of floors. Sorry, I only got the English on that one. I didn't get to catch the Japanese. So maybe that's what he's referring to. I love a good Pepsi slush. Wait, what? Frozen Pepsi man. Oh. Maybe it's some Ethereal Sea Guardian made manifest or something like that. Yeah, hell knows. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I definitely think that's a very, very emphatic possibility. It could be a remnant of Athena's soul in the Ethereal Sea. It could be a Guardian Deity Man manifest. The trees are interesting, especially because we've already been through the 3 layers of Pandemonium. We've been through Abyssos, or Asphodelos, Abyssos, and Tartaros. So where do we have left to go within it? You know, And this background is more in line with, like, even you can see its color changing, and the effects in the background are all the ethereal sea effects. If you've ever looked at the menu loading screen, this is basically the background is the menu loading screen when you log into the game, but with these trees in the background. Which means that this is almost certainly the ethereal sea, probably on the source, rather than in the Unsundered world. Which it's interesting. Why the trees then? You know, the Greek names make me assume it's not something from the modern ethereal sea. Yes, however, it could be something like Athena's soul kicking around stayed as long as she fought to stay as long as she could. You know. Arena background though. Yeah. So P9, yeah. It's gonna do the inverse of Proteans and then the inverse of Jagged Dolls, aka Hope and Joy. The raid music is P4 remix. Yes, it definitely had very P4. Definitely inside the ethereal sea. Yeah, definitely inside the ethereal sea. The question is it within Pandemonium itself, or is it within generally within the ethereal sea? Well, we said Pandemonium appear in the source. Yeah, Raven, I'm aware we know that Pandemonium is the source, but being within Pandemonium, even if Pandemonium is in the source and the ethereal sea, that's different than fighting it out in the ethereal sea versus fighting it within Pandemonium. My point is, are we fighting something, is this still within the container that is Pandemonium, or are we fighting enemies that are from without now? Or fighting enemies purely on the outside? Because in the time of Elpis, we adventured through the 3 floors of Pandemonium already. I mean, now it could have massively shifted in appearing in the source, so obviously the interior could be completely different. But that's why that's the importance of the speculation. Is Elizabeth gonna gone like Vanagon? Yes. He gave all of his soul to make sure that we could teleport back onto the back in time into the world Unsundered. It appeared that Pandemonium was crumbling in the trailer, so in the ethereal sea sounds more like it. Yeah, it would make sense, Kindle. And also even that in the 6.4 trailer we saw like the bubbling up thing from within Pandemonium, which was weird too. This puts when hell freezes over in it with a whole new meaning. Well, to be fair, Alex, it's being inspired seemingly by the same root. You know, hell freezing over, and the Divine Comedy, and Dante's Inferno, and then Cocytus. Gearing change! 7 raid reward. Adjustments to treasure coffer rewards in Pandemonium and Abasio Savage. Coffers will not reward duplicate armor pieces for the same slot. Interesting. Okay. Yoshi-P says, I can't show you further than P9, but arenas in the direction of the boss go are very different each floor. I want to talk a little bit about Savage. As mentioned before, Savage will be released 1 week after normal mode. There will not be maintenance. It will be the same as the previous tier. I also mentioned this previously, we're changing some of the loot rules. This only applies to Anabasios. And he's explaining his logic. Coffers. Body gear can be earned from Anabasios, the 11th circle. Yes! I hope to God that's as well and not instead. Single treasure coffer will appear at the end of each Pandemonium Anabasios encounter, reward quantity unchanged from previous tiers. Rewards will be reduced if 1 to 4 players have already completed the duty, and there will be no rewards if 5 or more have completed it. It's definitely a step forward. I was hoping they would put chess pieces for beating the door boss. Oh, Jade, that would be so... Dude, I feel like they'd have problems with people trying to get to clear. You'd have like half people just bail and like never bother clearing after that. You know? But I mean, that's an idea, Jay. That's an idea. YouTube, good to glad to have you. Did they show the PvP series 4 rewards? They have not yet. I don't believe so, no. They're gonna make 5 independent 5, so they'll just go back to having a turn 5. 5 turns, yeah, sure. I've kind of fallen in love with the 12, but yeah. No, I mean, that's a fair point. With the amount of effort involved, it's just can be too. And then when it's coming from you, Jade, of all people. Okay, continue. Savage reward changes. Okay, there will only be one coffer showing after clearing a fight, but the content will not be less. Instead of 2 small coffers, you basically get 1 big one now. It will be the same system as it has been, but just 1 coffer. So, okay, hey, they're dropping it. Body gear is now down to 6 books. Okay, that's good. That's an improvement. It's dropping down obviously to Mythos 3 because you can get it from 11, and it's dropping down in 6. Leg gear's down by 2. This is big. This is good. This is good. I wish it was 4, but 6 is major improvement. Why was it ever 2 coffers in the first place? To allow more options. Should have 6 turns for the total of 14 turns. For the max. I'll take 6. Yeah, exactly, Jay. It's better, right? It's better. Definitely improvement. Anything is, yeah, wow. Then they come back and they make it, okay, now it's Mythos, it's 10 books. How to start a riot 101. There'll be only 1 coffer show. Yoshi-P, since I want everyone to tackle a lot of content and play other games too, I just didn't want this to feel like it will take forever and you're bound to raiding in 14. There are so many other games coming out in May and June. Thank you, Yoshi-P. Chad is asking if I change this just to be friendly with FFXVI. No. We'll try to keep it this way for the future. Okay, so their intent is to keep this how it goes going forward. Mythos 4 may be exchanged for Mythos 1 through 3 at a 1-to-1 rate. That's cool. That's cool. Isa, good to see, glad to have you. How you doing, man? Hunter, good to see, glad to have you. Welcome to the waking world. As someone who circling rolls trash, I'll take it. Yeah, Lara. Back to 2.0 with no 1 chest clears. Either 2 chests or nothing. That's wild. Crossover event. So Nick, we won't see a 16 crossover event probably until 3 to 6 months after 16 launches, because what they're going to want to do is they want probably the immediate marketing and hype cycle that they're going to take advantage of, and then after that, as that starts to die down a little bit, use 14 as a second round of marketing. So I wouldn't be surprised if anywhere for we don't see a crossover event upon release, but actually a little bit later. I might be wrong, but it's been true. It was true of 15 and true of other events too. Oh, I'm sorry, Issa. Well, enjoy. Hopefully work will be at least not too taxing. Maybe it'll be an event before 7.0 launches. Yeah, that would make sense. Definitely, I would be shocked if it wasn't an event before 7.0. But I would be looking more towards sometime around sometime between 6.45 and 6.5 would be where I would mainly look to see. But don't take my opinion. Take my opinion with a grain of salt. Yoshi-P needs to sort some things out with 16 producer. Okay, you can change books of the 4th floor for books of any of the other 3 floors at a 1-to-1 rate. Break time, about 10 minutes. You can only change 4th floor books into lower ones, not 2-to-1 or 3-to-2. Just 4-to-1, 2, or 3. Fair enough. Okay, while we've got a 10-minute break here, I'm gonna go get some water. Who wants to see a pupper? Because I promised a pupper, but I never got the chance to go grab him. Do you guys want to see a Deadpool? 言葉とともに例のあれ流してもいいよって言っていただいたので、よく考えたら14は年始の麻雀放送の時に1回流したきりだった真宙さん金星のですね、また黙って勝手に作ったやつなクライブとトルガルが走るだけっていうタイトルの素敵な動画がございますので、そちらを発売に向けて皆さんにご覧いただきたいです。
いうことで3本セットで大丈夫ですよ。都合5分43秒の動画でございますので、10分休憩に対しては大変余裕じゃないかと思いますので、
I got it, boy.
ということにしたいと思いますので、今から10分休憩です。どうぞ。
Silly question, Elio. We always want to see the good boy. I remember Yoshi-P made the joke about talking about the 14 director. Yeah. I hope they unlock the tier gear after 18 weeks instead of 1 billion. Yeah. User formerly known as John. Good to see, glad to have you. Yeah, he only sees the 16 producer in the bathroom. It's very hard to find. Has anyone ever on in the history of live streams turned out a chance to see a cute animal? I'm sure someone's done it, right? Wait, so if you clear all 3 weeks in a row, you can get a chest piece guaranteed? Yes. Actually, I don't know if you would... Yeah, yes, because you could go down to 6. Yeah, Gary. Yeah, 100%. Although, also, you're going to have plenty of chances to get it, too, just by running them. But, yeah. Good job, buddy. You come here? You come here? You sit. High five. You spin. Ready? 1, 2, 3. No, no. Okay. Good job. You sit. You lay down. Yeah, good job. Oh. Deadpool looks so tubby. I love it. He's actually he's the proper weight. He's actually he's not exactly a skinny boy because he's still got some of his winter weight, but he's you know. Okay, do you guys shall we watch the 6.4 trailer again while we wait? I think we'll go through. I'm gonna keep the volume a little bit low, and I think we'll like go through it bit by bit.
I would bid you join me. Fight with me for the salvation of all our souls.
I would bid you join me. Fight with me for the salvation of all our souls. So obviously he's talking about his plan in order to allow those of the 13th to be able to die and end the suffering of the 13th.
Feast upon this dragon and its ardent longing for home with it.
So to feast upon this dragon and its ardent longing for home with it. So he's probably talking about Hydaelyn. So the thing that's feasting on it may be the thing that becomes the shadow dragon. It's interesting the shadow dragon still has Hydaelyn's face, but okay, you know, it could be that something is feasting on Hydaelyn. But also, why did he wait until that point to do that? You know, maybe to draw us in potentially. Bum 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 bum. And for those of you who don't know, the Amaratine theme is the main. What the musical theme we're hearing right now is the Amaratine theme. So the question is, what is it playing for? Would it be playing for here? Well, that seems weird. You wouldn't necessarily think that it would play for a Sharlayan place. But maybe there's we'll see.
They claim to.
I love this. I love this zip line. Although some of these enemies, this guy we faced off in an Elpis too. So maybe there's some like Elpis themes going on here too.
They claim to be soldiers of a kingdom called Baron.
They came to be soldiers of a kingdom called Baron. We know Golbez worked for Baron for a period of time during FF4 when he took over the Red Wings from Cecil. This guy may be Golbez. This sword. You know, the big sword, the like hulking frame, the cape.
And we're traveling the realm in search of a means to end the Contra Memoria.
We're traveling the realm in search for a means to end the Contra Memoria, which means that.
Traveling the realm in search of a means.
Okay, so that's the blonde guy. That's this guy. So if this is Golbez, the younger kid could have effectively be Cecil. Also,
and
wait.
We're traveling the realm in search of a means to end the.
Interesting. Wait, that's interesting. Caduceus. I wonder if this is a shard of oh my god, Hermes. It's interesting that he has the Caduceus symbol.
Contra Memoria.
And yeah.
Everything seems.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Exactly what I was getting at, Hydra. Yeah.
Everything seems to be proceeding apace.
Everything seems to be proceeding to pace, says Thancred.
I dare say you would have been fine without me.
Thancred, please don't say things like that. It makes it sound like you're gonna go away forever. So this is all Mount Rokon, and so this is Mount Rokon stuff, and obviously this is harkening on to like the Sengoku period and like the Edo period, which means okay, the tatami. These rooftops are all very Hingen. I think this is almost certainly Hingashi. No. Containment sea.
Then thou wouldst make use of.
Then you would make use of, probably referring to the Aether in the moon.
So this is the promised land. The land of boundless ether.
So this is the promised land, the land of boundless ether. It's referring, in a void sentence referring to the source. Is it weird they think Thaner's going to retire before 7.0 and that's why Gunbreaker will be the title jump? I don't think it's weird. I'd be surprised, but I mean, hey, stranger things have happened. Okay, and you got like a Nezumi spirit going on there, so yeah, that's probably still Rokon. Mist Gardens, Rokon, probably. Orionji, commence your invocations. The binding seals are fixed. They're no longer broken, they're fixed. So they're using those binding seals as a way to maintain to keep it in stasis, because the binds were meant to also keep Zodiark alive. They're going to create a portal, and I think the bindings are going to be able to maintain it and make it stable. Overworld theme from FF4 playing. Okay, see, okay, look, guys, this is it. They're traveling through the interdimensional rift. This is how you travel to the first. Okay, so they're creating a permanent portal a la the magics that were used to bring you to the first or onto Elpis to travel through that place in time.
Tis time to open our gate.
Time to open a gate, yep. Been calling it for forever. Mount Rokon still.
This is the moon of the 13th.
Moon of the 13th, obviously. Can we see? No, I mean, it seems like all the land masses would have been broken apart anyways.
I've been waiting for this.
Someone said I've been waiting for this, and I can't quite tell who I was, but it kind of sounds like Zero, and now I'm worried.
And one of them got what they deserved. Trusting fools.
And they got what they deserved, those trusting fools.
Like you would be heroes.
You would be heroes.
Ends the same way. A knife in
It always ends the same way. A knife in the back. Obviously, you got... What's interesting is you have Laha Brea, obviously, because half of his sigil has been torn from when he torn it to create Hephaestus. Well, okay, hey, we've got Themis and Aetius go. Themis in present times! Themis in present times! Ooh, shit. If Zero betrays us, it's not because she wanted to unknowingly, is my personal opinion, because a bunch of her actions, and statements and goals don't necessarily make any sense unless she came from a disposition of, didn't realize she was a sleeper foe. Wait, why is Themis our size? That's a great question.
Even now, I struggle with fear and...
Who is that? Okay, we know... Nerva is accounted for. Who is that? Who would that be? Also, wait, that earring looks like an earring from the New World. Or from Corvos, I wonder.
And uncertainty. Day after day, I ask myself, what is right? Where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here? See, the cannon fire that comes out of Babel is the blue color, the same as the Aether font. That thing's fascinating. We also know the 10th Legion was in Corvos, so it's possible that was the leader of the 10th Legion. That does look like the... So, like, you can see, like, Pandemonium... It looks like Pandemonium itself came to life as an enemy. And yeah, it's like, has pustules on its bottom, too. And yeah, there was a tank buster on the tower. Okay, fine. You will go no further. Okay, guys, interesting thing to note. You don't see any of the Scions fighting with us, and you specifically don't see Zero. At last. The moment is at hand. Come face me.
Shattered the wheel and brought salvation to the world.
The hero who shattered the wheel and brought salvation to the world. Also, interestingly, you'll notice that this symbol is the other half. This is the Hephaestus symbol, and it's in some sort of materia or a site.
Shattered the wheel and brought salvation to the world.
Gary, I'm not talking about you doing it. So, Gary, they've shown Scions fighting with us in trials before in trailers. It's not... There's a difference between mechanics and trailers. My point is that when they specifically do that for trailers sometimes, it's telling.
To face me.
Yeah. Okay. And they're back. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. It's almost like I knew what I was doing. Oh! This is the raid gear. This is them showing the raid gear. Look at those fucking crystals behind you. I saw tweets cheering for my shoulder, so I will do my best. Oh, hell yeah. A bunch of people are going to hate those crystals, but I love them. I look good. That's a good bard outfit. That's a good bard outfit. Same Hydra. What are those? Crystal's so much better than the flame hula hoops. V, it seems like everyone's on board with you in that. Not bun approved. Not dyeable though. Well, won't the Savage gear be dyeable? Or do you mean the crystals won't be dyeable? I hate them. No, Tracy, you can hate them. I want to be very fucking clear about something. I am not advocating that I think that something's cool as shit, so you should want it. I'm advocating that just because you don't want it doesn't mean it's not cool as shit. That is my only stance. That is all I care to say. Those Pixie Fairy Newlets are awesome if you have a very particular sense of aesthetic and sensibility. I super do not want them. Okay, island update. Not the crystals? Yeah, you're probably right, Jay. That's right. I guess I like blue and white, and so, like, the crystals being blue for tank means I don't have to worry about it, but yeah. Okay, just after you for sign another blue-white crystal themes feel a little disappointing. Fair. That's fair. I think the thinking is the difference between, like the glacial aesthetic versus, like, the ethereal aesthetic, but yeah, I totally can understand that, Lynn. I'd also point out that the blue... Wow, I guess it's the crystals, right? And those can't be changed. But since you can dye the raid gear, at least there's that. In the words of Syndrome, when everybody's super nobody is. Underground cave area, please, yeah. I like the Flame Edge aesthetic for last year, but I totally get that some people love it. Just glad we get something different now. 100% agree. My thing is just always make it different so that way more people have the chance to get the aesthetic that suits them. 2 more star fragments to cap out my ancient set. We saw this island become very, honestly, modern in FF8 since. Yes. New sanctuary ranks and visions, new gathering arrows in the wild, new construction plots and hideaways, new item rewards, new material. I mean, everything we would think. Furnishings can be placed near structures. So now furnishings, you can like put... Basically, they're trying to make Island Sanctuary more like it's personal housing. They really are.
ただし、木人や畑など、特別な機能のある庭具は設置することができません。
はい。はい。こちらはね、ちょっとさすがに無理だったんです。
Looks like the raid gear can be used with the tier 2 alliance gear to make some good combos. Definitely.
方法をご紹介いたします。次のページです。はい。
ちょっと変わってるんでご注意ください。
Still didn't unlock the island thing. Is it worth it? So it really depends on what you mean by worth it. Is it worth it? If you ask me, yes. It's a different type of content. Do you like Animal Crossing at all, or like Stardew Valley or anything like that? It's a wonderful like piece of side content that has rewards for the main content as well if you care to engage with it. It's just very fun and chill, and it's really fun to like kind of do while you're doing other stuff. Like you can do it while watching YouTube, or you could do it while you know, waiting for queues, or you know, any number of things. Furnishing in your inventories may be placed on your isle as glamours. Furnishing places glamours will be bound to you but not consumed. Thus multiple glamours can be placed based on a single item. I should turn down their volume a little bit. No translations updates. If you like Animal Crossing low mental daily tasks with the ability to earn guild through maintenance, then yeah, it's worth it. Yeah, it also has like good story stuff. It has some good story stuff, but it's not anything major. Can't stand doing it, but it has really nice clothes. Says the person who farms Eureka all day, which I understand exactly why that's completely different. But sounds good. Have a great night, Kindle. Get some good sleep. Is that outdoor furnishing still? Yeah, yeah. Island prisms may be used to register furnishings, allowing you to place them even when not held in your inventory. Note that registering them will bind them to you. But it's the same kind of thing. I mean, it really is. I mean, the difference is that Stardew Valley is more in depth, but I don't think just because a game's not as deep does not mean it's not valuable, or that also, especially if it's an MMO system where it's being built upon. Like Island Sanctuary at launch compared to now is already major steps forward. But farming boss, yeah. I like idling while reflect farming sprites, not exporting values to spreadsheets. Dude, I've caught in everything in Island Sanctuary without using a single spreadsheet. They're bought on a oh, thank God I don't have to pay 2 million gil for more Oriental craftsmanship. Does this mean Island Furniture will be non-functional? I have like 5 million invested in mailboxes. I don't know why it wouldn't be non-functional unless they said something. Let me see if there's any comments. So if you have one moe, you could glam it into 99 things in theory. I don't see any statement on that, but maybe I missed it. I like Island Sanctuary, but I'm unhappy my internet took a 2-minute nap during the section and not any others. Yeah. Again, like, it's fine that it cannot be your thing, but it's like it's not my major thing, but it's like a fun thing to do, and it's a well-done thing that they're constantly improving on. So it's like I'm not gonna like, you know, bemoan it or, you know, give them shit. When Island Sanctuary is much like Stardew, Animal Crossing much closer. Yeah, Animal Crossing is closer. Stardew has farming tasks, but a lot more. Animal Crossing mostly just has farming, gathering dailies. Well, so here's my counterpoint to that is V, but it's tied to an entire MMO which has like doing dungeons and character relationships and that sort of thing, you know. Stardew doesn't lock real-time clock like Animal Crossing does. Yeah, fair. I know you time skip, but it doesn't count. No, that's fair. I mean, look, Animal Crossing is a much closer analogy. I would just say that I think Island Sanctuary is actually way better than Animal Crossing because I can actually do things in it, like gather resources and like, you know, whereas like you're really limited in the amount of things you can do per day in Animal Crossing. I've had it closer to a mix of Slime Rancher and Animal Crossing personally. I didn't mean to say it's Stardew Valley. I just meant to say that it's not so dissimilar that it would be weird to consider it in the same ballpark. Yeah, a bit of random, but Island Sanctuary on the Steam Deck is so damn amazing. Oh, I bet, Lars. I bet that would be good. It's a great G-Post spot, yeah. Animal Crossing New Horizons disappointed me. A particular reason? It was the first one that I played in a while that I really enjoyed, but that's only because I like specifically engaging like mechanics in terms of like being able to like terraform and like, you know, crafting and stuff, so that appeals to me. Yeah, so this is they're showing off the system for being able to place like furnishings and glamour and all that. The villagers felt lifeless compared to past entries. You probably play it way more than me, so I'll take your word for it. I must have just lucked out in the villagers I got because they were all pretty spunky, but I had, you know, I played all the past entries, but I didn't play them hyper hardcore. So okay, he's just using Moai statues. Okay, that's glorious. Dude, people are gonna make some weird shit. Dude, we're gonna see so many freaking Island Sanctuary clubs too. Like the more of this sort of shit that they add in. Oh, V, you felt that too? Okay, so it seems like it's a semi-popular thing. It seems like a lot of people are feeling that then. This is accurate to what people will make, yeah. 100%. As you can see, they're not disappearing from my inventory when placing glams. Suddenly you feel like you're on a vacation, overseas vacation. Why did we put a variety of items in the inventory if you're only placing the moais? So like you only have to have like one of the specific object and you will be able to place it. Once the update. How much is it now? I thought it was like 20 or something. I actually don't know. But yeah, I guess if you want to do a club, you're gonna have to still a lot more than that. But it's not. I guess also though you want to make a club feel lively, right? And if you've got a huge island but only a very limited number of people. Only one of the specific objects, well that's gonna make crafters sad. Well, but think about it this way, Lynn. There's still going to be a huge uptick in demand, right? Yeah, clubs regularly hit the housing instance cap, yeah. You can place 90 things. This list shows which glams furnishings you have placed. The right tab shows what you have placed, the left tab shows you have added to your list of glams. So basically you have a glamour chest now for your island, for items. Lots of people wanting those Hinken fountains. Man, I want that tree with the blue edges. I actually think that's really pretty. So how many cactar statues can I have? So it's backwards from regular housing? Cool. Kind of, yeah. Honestly, I'm wondering if they'll try to implement this system at some point into housing. Probably not. They would crash the economy for crafting, so that would be weird. Come later, check in the mentioned new series rewards, but it doesn't seem like it. Yeah, YouTube they may yet, but it's a long live letter, so it may not be for a while. What it means is in regular housing, the left tab is what's placed, the right tab is what's in storage. Oh, okay, so they really did literally flip-flop it. So anything you have added to your list you don't need to have in your inventory anymore? Yes. So once you've added it to the glamour list of items available for your island, you can take it out of your inventory. The economy is already taking a hit with the glamour system for Island Sanctuary, but honestly, I think this system is a massive improvement for the general public. You can hear all the hungry crafters crying that you don't have to buy multiple items. It's true. It's very true. Did they end up showing battle content? Well, I mean, they showed the trial, they showed Anabasios, they've showed a couple things, yeah. Special furnishings like striking dummies and gardens will not be supported. Okay, so they did, okay. Well, to be fair, Poto, like, it's possible that they may add it in the future. I think the problem for special functioning, like for instance striking dummy, is that there's no like the island sanctuary isn't built to do combat. I would assume. Like the instance zone, like may not even like be able to flag. Right? There's no combat you can do in Island Sanctuary. I mean, technically your abilities are up. You have health. No striking dummy GGs. Jade's out. I was half expecting Yoshi-P to have max skill on his character. If so, then I'll go. Not interesting yet. Well, there's still more stuff in the live letter's not ending here, just so people are aware. I mean, like, you're welcome to go, but like. And also, if you're only here for battle stuff, there will probably be more battle stuff, but also you missed earlier battle stuff. Honestly, I'll take more streamlined usability over a rich, new market for a small group of players. Yep. I mean, broadly, that's true. I'm with that one. I was half expecting Yoshi-P to have max skill on his character. Nah, man, he plays. He plays it right. He plays it bright and fair. Though he has turned on dev modes. I actually wonder if he has ever, like... Probably wouldn't need to. Only outdoor items for the island? So far, yes. I bought a house on Seraph solely to have a cheap striking dummy. I bought a second deluxe garden just because they did want to get Thavnarian onions to be more common, though they have dropped in price and demand significantly recently. Yeah. I mean, they've been adding more and more housing, so it's, you know, that's helped. There's still variant Criterion being shown off later. Yeah. All the camping furnishing added to the expansion kind of made sense. Yeah. Any new translation? I'm reading people wanted to use their island as a dump for their garden furnishings. Sorry, we didn't even have that in mind when making this. We prepared a video to show the entire process, and then they're showing the video of what Yoshi-P made. They specifically say they were going to be talking very much about the graphic update stuff? If so, I wouldn't imagine that's going to be until that would be closer to the end. Hopefully not the end, because usually that's where they do a bunch of the advertising stuff. Sounds good. Have fun, Tracy. All the camping, furnishing, adding this expansion. Oh, yeah.
繰り返すと鍛錬を重ねれば大丈夫。皆さんもちょっと待ってくれ。俺別にさ、俺のセンスなわけじゃないね。その落ち込むなとかさ、このセンスであるってコメントめっちゃ書かれてて、ちょっと待って、みんながモアイって言うから俺モアイ置いてったんだよ。ちょっと待ってくれよ。いや、これである。ドンマイじゃないんだよだから。ドンマイじゃないんだよ。
For clarification, the 120 slots is the list of items you can save as glams, but you can only place 90 items on the island. I wonder if I mean, the thing is, they didn't have this at launch, right? So what other functions might we see in the future? Bless Yoshi-P made 600k reflect farming while watching a live letter. Oh, Jade. What do you do with all your funds? Buy potions. Graphic update info isn't until US FanFest. Yeah, that's the main thing I would have. As far as I know, FanFest was the first time that they're going to talk about it. Unless they said something that I just missed. I wasn't expecting that, but if they do massive. Hey, is that crafting gear? Oh no, this is the new Island Sanctuary gear. This has been a while, right? I gotta get some sleep for work later. Take care, everyone. Have a good one, Red Mage! I need to pay for mats for my caster and melee gear says that that's at least 10k I'm gonna need. That is some casual Friday. Yeah, that will be good for Steampunk Alexander. I was about to say 10k. I feel like you could earn that in about 10 minutes. You want a reason to do Island Sanctuary? There you go. There's your reason to do Island Sanctuary.
その人さ、一言で形容しづらいじゃん。
どの部分を取ったの？
そうそうそう。どの部分を取ったんだろうとって、5分ぐらいね、ずっと考えたんだけど、
答えは出ず。
出なかった。ごめんね、全然脱線して。で、せっかくなんで、ハウジング系のポロリも。
お願いします。
Okay, they're talking about. Okay, we're gonna show off new housing item stuff. Oh, right, the design contest items. I refuse to give in to pyramid scheme that is crafting and gathering. You're not wrong.
2022のコンテストは 6.5 から。
Did they show off the new PvP series glam already? No, they did not, Dr. Smash. It is fascinating. Unless, well, they showed off the PvP weapon, but they haven't shown off the series reward. No. No, these are the things from the contest they held a little while ago. I want to know where we're getting the joke weapons. What joke weapon? Oh, yeah. The other. I don't know. I wonder if they'll do that for the Manderville. Well, they'll do half and half. That's a lovely patio thing going on.
そうですね。
やっていきたいよね。
Yoshi-P, I want to place this wood deck on my island with a BBQ place next to it.
あららららら。
Oh, that's cute.
いいですね。
Live edge lumber.
持ってるよね、これ。
Must have that patio.
これの周りにモアイ、とにかくモアイ推ししてる人すげえいるな。景観ぶっ壊れるぞ、マジで。
If anyone wants a good guild farm right now, by the way, Seed of Sacrifice glam weapons are coming out, and that mats for the EX are going for a few 100,000. Nice. Thanks, Jared. Love that new flowered shirt. Yeah, it is. Jared, it was like that's gonna be good for like casual outfits. There's been a lot of good casual outfit stuff coming out of Island Sanctuary.
で、続いては次のブロックこちらに行きたいと思います。どうぞ。ほい。
Okay, they're talking about Mount Rockguard now.
ダンジョン第2弾。
Why do you guys want to key?
こちら 6.45 である。
New variant Criterion dungeon. Variant dungeon and.
として作ってまいりました。はい。
じゃまずはバリアントダンジョンのおさらいから。
そうですね。していきましょう。
Rokkan Yama.
見ましたけど、そういややりきれてねえって言ってた人。
Am I right? Is it Hingashi?
はい。
Okay, so this is covering what variant dungeons are. Level 90 casual play for 1 to 4 players. No role restriction, job change permitted. Enemy strength determined by party size. Route of progress branched into 3 different sets.
そしてロール構成は自由。そしてジョブチェンジも可能です。はい。はい。で、
Yeah, Jerry, yeah, definitely. I know what you mean though.
敵の強さが変化します。
Yeah, Seed of Sacrifice is really ezy on syncs. It's Doman. Have they said that, Amanda? Because all of the roofs are Hingen. Because all of the architecture is Hingen so far. So I'd be very surprised if it actually was Doman. Who's tagging along with us this time? Yugiri? We'll see.
今回も結構凝ったやつがございますので、
楽しみですよね。
はい。
はい。そして続きがございます。はい、第2弾、ロッコン戦でも
Explore the mysteries of Mount Rokkon alongside with certain someone. Experience a different story depending on your choice of path.
前回のシラディハ水道
Especially as a lawful, I have no much. Are we gonna get negative rewards this time? Win a Criterion run equal. What?
そしてルートの分岐に
Yugiri would be weird to just have her stand back and watch this fight, to be honest. I mean, Hancock would make sense if it was Hingashi.
なってましたよ。
はい。でこれ繰り返しプレイしていただくとすべての物語を埋めていくことができます。はい。
Gosetsu. That could make sense, though he's still on his travels. But yeah, that could definitely make sense. Variant actions? Duty actions designed to compensate for roll and balances. I'm assuming all of you guys know how variant dungeons work. Has to be either Hancock or someone like Soroban. Gosetsu as a geomancer. If you've played the range DPS role quest for Endwalker, you know that he's not doing geomancy, he's doing Shugendo. Drakon Lily, good to see you, glad to have you. You're Hingen. Soroban could make sense.
はい、じゃあ実際どんなバリアントアクションがあるかと言いますと次のページをお願いします。はい、全5種類。
Man, Zadana too.
バリアントケアル、バリアントアルティメイタム。
Like I get wanting more. I wanted more, but Jesus Christ, like chill out.
回復だったり挑発だったり。 ね、蘇生だったりいろんな機能がありますが、自分のロールが持ってないところ
Yeah,
をこう
this
こ
is
れで
just
埋めていく
they're
ことが
literally just re-explaining all like variant and Criterion. Shisui, probably not Shisui. Especially Shisui wouldn't be like bamboo groves and stuff aren't in like the Ruby Sea area. You'd only see this in somewhere like Nagsha, Yangsha, Hingashi, like on Koshu or Shishu. Those are like the only 3 places you would really see this kind of foliage. And the thing is that Dolmen buildings are not this kind of architecture.
アナザーダンジョン
Like this architecture is mainly Hingen, but maybe it's a place that is, maybe it's just only this courtyard is with this architecture and everything else is Domen and it's just like a weird import, you know.
で見た目はバリアントダンジョンに似ていますが、構造や敵の強さは全く別物。ルートも固定で NPC は同行しません。
そう、バリアントダンジョンが入り口入った後、分岐していくんですけど、
quit hanging around with the wrong
アナザーダンジョンは、固定ルートになってます。はい。はい。
そして、
で、NPC もごちゃごちゃ言ったりはしないので、はい。
完全にプレイヤー4人で挑む
ってください。
高難度コンテンツです。次どうぞ。はい。そして第2弾のコンテンツ名は
Another Mount Rokon, another Mount Rokon Savage. Another dungeons are higher difficulty by default, so it's AMR and
難易度はかなり高く、異分霊式は
an AMRS.
チャレンジコンテンツという位置づけになっています。
はい。
If only it was Rokon Mount, Source Mountain or something, because then it'd be ARM.
そもそもダンジョンの構造も違いますと、いうことなので、まあ分けて考えていただいた方がいい。で、アナザーダンジョンはそのバリアントダンジョンのリソースを使って高難易度の
Another Savage Mount Rokon.
作っているという感じになっています。
Maybe ASMR, that would be pretty funny.
一部で依頼のあった少人数高難度をくれというのがこれで実現されております。ですね。はい。そしてでは次参りましょう。まず、異分6コンセント。
Parties of 4, supplemented via matchmaking, normal methods of
4人未
restriction.
満で申請をした場合は
Come on, give literally nothing. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. Give us something new.
各人が回数制限付きのバリアントレイズ2を使うことができます。で、その他のバリアントアクションは使用することができません。
Yeah, I think making the seed a reward for a first clear would be a good thing. Yeah, I think that would definitely be an improvement.
こんなことをわざわざ書いてあるかというと次があるからですね。しませんという。
まあ割と少しずつ攻略を進めていけますよという感じです。はい。
はい。そして続いてどうぞ。高難度の方、異分6コンセント。
Come on, give me something useful. Okay, let's see.
こちらは4人パーティーでのみ申請可能です。
You asked why we tell you why we tell you defeated enemies do not revive. That is because of the savage version. Because of these actions, you can do the content solo on any job as well. Obviously, like because you can equip yourself with the healing even if you're playing on tank or raise or I guess raise for duos, but like you can equip your DPS ability if you're a tank, etc. Maybe amazing if the person we went through it with was Karasu. That would be weirdly specific, but hey. Also weird on a number of levels, but hey. As a warrior, I'm a healer already. Wait, was the second mount gonna be? What is the second mount gonna be actually? What do you mean second mount? Oh, the mount for this? We don't know yet.
そのバリアントダンジョン、6コンセンにちょっと突入してみようではないか。やったね。ということで、ちょっと待ってくださいね。準備をします。はい。ので、まあとりあえずアナザーに挑むかどうかはさておき。
Come on, give me either prove I don't know what I'm talking about or prove I know what I'm talking about. God damn it.
あ、コメントもそろそろ気になり始めた。
So there are 2 difficulty modes for the Criterion dungeon. Since we're at it, I will show a demo for the Criterion dungeon. Yeah, I'm going with Hancock. Hancock's my guess. I wonder what the mount for getting all the different endings will be. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, like honestly, with the Nizumi and all the other stuff, it's gonna be Shinto as hell. That's my whatever it is. That's my expectation. That or pre-Meiji as hell. I'm thinking we go in with you, Giddy. Yeah. I mean, this isn't Mount Rokon.
コンテンツ情報のこの特殊ダンジョン 探索にありますんで。
Yoshi-P says, my island looks mysterious in a scary way because of all the moes I placed. Hey, Hancock! We called it! Wait. I'm sorry, I gotta pause this. Yeah, it's gonna be Hingashi. I'm telling you, it's definitely Hingashi. Here, I can even pull it up. So you can look for this yourself without having the reference books, but if you have Encyclopedia Eorzean Volume 2, there's a specific section that actually talks about the architecture of Doma versus Hingashi. This is Doman architecture, this is Hingan architecture. And so you can see very much the difference between the two is like when those, like the green shingles that go down in slopes, whereas you have like the pseudo-Chinese palisades kind of thing going on with Doman architecture. And you can see this in the Doman enclave versus places in Hingashi. Which is why I knew it was Hingan. Out of all the people they chose Hancock. I mean, Hancock's our only major liaison to Hingashi proper. Hancock is the person that makes the most sense by a country mile. We don't have any other, because that is Hingashi. And that's not just Kugane, but Hingashi. And we don't have a lot of contacts on the interior there, and we don't have the permission to go in there. So it makes sense for it to be Hancock. I'm still new after 14 other things that really annoy people, like the relic turn-in and Criterion rewards don't bother me much. Still incredibly more fun for me than WoW. Yeah, and it's also just different strokes for different folks. Different things bother people. It also matters how much you intrinsic versus extrinsic preference you have. It's just, you know. And also, if you've been playing a long time and like, you know, only like the new content's the only thing you've got to do that you necessarily enjoy. If it fails to provide the meaningful reward that what feels like a meaningful reward to you, then it could be annoying. But yeah, I tend to be very more long game on that. But. So this is Hancock is coming with us. Yes, of course. Those questioning marks indicate the numbers of different routes you can have in this dungeon. Don't forget, set the action. Since I'm going as Black Mage, I'll take the current rampart. So yeah, so there's going to be 3. Each route has multiple entries that you can get for it, just like well, I guess the major route then branches. Yeah, those comedy stones look watermelony. Canox single-handedly carried Kugane for real. Since this time he was suddenly in Yport, yeah. Yeah, it's Hingan. This is Hingashi.
本当だ、いた、ハンコック。ちょっと動きやすそうな格好してらっしゃる。そうです。走ってた。お、君そこかい？これが今、
These sort of trees specifically grow in Japan, and they don't necessarily. And you'll see if you've ever been to places like Nikko. I mean, like lots of places in Japan, you'll see trees in areas like this. This is not Doma.
すごいな、コメント吉田歌えっていうコメントがいっぱい出てます。なんででしょうね。歌いたくなる感じの曲なんですか？いや。
Also, the theme playing right now is the Hingan theme. Well, it's technically the Othardian theme. But it's used in conjunction with Kugane quite often. And then they specifically have like the Hien song. What is it called? What's his face from 6? For Doma. For Doma like Gang Show. Chat, once you sing along, I don't think I've ever done this song. As much feel nostalgia. I don't. Yeah, they haven't staged anything. Hancock got some new drip. Yeah, it really does. Yeah, this is. I'm perfectly fine saying this is absolutely 100% for sure confirmed Hingashi, because these what you're seeing are like Shinto, are like Shinto, not prayer, but purity ropes and. Oh, interesting. You saw some of these exact same enemies in Sully Subterranean. Shishu. Oh, Shishu. Okay, yes, this is Shishu. So, okay, these guys are Shishu Hoko. So this is Shishu. This is the smaller island on, here, I'll pull up, on Hingashi. This is the smaller island that's close to Kugane. That's why we have access to it. It is confirmed. It is Hingashi. I'll just real quick. I'm just gonna pull this
で
up.、
敵の強さは突入人数によって調整されま
This
すので、
is the
一人
island.
で入った時は一人用の
This island right here. So this is Koshu, and then this is Shishu. So Kugane is right here, and then we're basically coming out into this island here. This is where we're gonna be for Mount Gorkon.
この形を見るとみんな、アンデンさん、アンデンさん。
なんでさ、大量に
Science theme. Thank you, Atelier. Doma is on the mainland. Higashi is an island or a series of islands. I'd have to check. Yeah, it's 2 islands. It's Koshu and Shishu. It's basically Doma is a combination of Korea, but mainly like China and then aspects of Sengoku era Japan. And then Higashi is like a confluence of Sengoku and it's more specifically Edo area Japan with also some Meiji era stuff going on. And it's kind of, they have Shishu and Koshu kind of like how Japan has Honshu and Kyushu and Shikoku. And Hokkaido, obviously. So it's kind of parallel in that way. I thought Doma was the country, Higashi a region. No, Doma is the city-state. Yeah, well, so yes, but Higashi is a island, but it also is the nation of Higashi. Is like, you know, they have Bukyo, it's like their capital, but like Higashi, it'd be like you say Japan. Like Japan is both a place and a, you know, and like the Japanese state or Japanese people is also a thing. Doma is a city-state within the region of Othar that's Yangsha. But it like if you say Doman, you're talking about that region of Yangsha. You're talking about like the one river in there. And also if you're talking about that architecturally. Hingen would be the same thing. Like you would like the people of Higashi are known as like Hingen, or like are Hingen. Domans are Doman. You know. Broadly speaking, Doma is fantasy China and Higashi is fantasy Japan. Broadly speaking. Yes, I think but Lynn, you have to add that there's a lot of Doma that is also fantasy Japan as well. Not just the samurai aspects of it, but like there are a lot of things to it that are more Shinto and like Zen Buddhism, that like Japanese Zen Buddhist. So like yes, but also Doma is both, very much both. Thanks for explaining. Yeah, I went through Stormblood without paying much attention. The story didn't catch my attention, sadly. All good, no worries. Wish there was an actual area, sometimes not just a dungeon. But I think the Criterion dungeons though are great for like. There's no reason that we would make Shisu. Oh my god. Shisu. Koshu Shisu. Oh my god. Anyways, the smaller island, an actual map to go to. So this is a great way to like expand upon Hingashi's lore and kind of set up the reason to go into it in Bukyo in the future. Like Koshu as like an actual map. I think Criterion Dungeon are great for this. I think, for instance, getting Ogomoro, the northern part of Vilbrand, as a Criterion Dungeon makes so much more sense than making it a map, you know? Sushi. That's exactly how I feel about the burn. Yeah, I guess the thing about the burn is like, there's nothing there. It's just the empty. It's like going to the empty. It's like there's not. The burn's just endless. You know, like there wouldn't be fate. There wouldn't be people. You know, it's like what would you put there? Shisui of the Twilight. Like maybe sometime in the future they can give us an exploration mode here. Do you mean like an exploration mode for the Criterion dungeon? Because yeah, that'd be cool. Just give me Dalmasca. That's all I want. Well, first they have to figure out what the fuck they're doing with that because of like the way in which Matsuno, what Matsuno did with Bosnia. It's all over the place. One thing I'll say that's really cool about this is if you've ever actually gone through these, I know because when I was capturing footage for when I did one of the routes for the lore of Silly Subterrane, if you clear the enemies, you can like just go walk through it and spend time there. Gabu taking us through Ogomoro would be Sony. Oh my god, Levi, I didn't even think about it being Gabu. That'd be great. I want Nagsha and Hingashi infinitely more than I want New World. I feel like whenever we go to Volnane, we'll get Nagsha too. Or I don't honestly, I don't know the context under which we would get Nagsha, but we really should get it. I don't know. It's a wait, no, you're right this time. Infinite. Well, you didn't have to give such a sick burn to the burn. I mean, like, dude, the burn's one of my I love that dungeon. I love that. It's one of my favorite songs in the whole game. Like, I love the burn. I love the burn. But like, what is there to do? Like, there's not, like, it's not even like Bosnia where it's like a war zone. It's like, it's literally just a dead place. You know, like, what even would it be for a map? You know, it's like, there's, the area we're in is one of the only places where there is kind of something because there's an Allegan ruin, you know? The burn theme is fire. It really is. Oh, that Levi, I wouldn't be surprised if there actually is a reference to that in some way at some point. I'd love to get some Duskwhite lore if they do Gridania Criterion dungeon. Yeah, so Jane, me and Naniri have been theorizing forever that Gelmora Criterion dungeon is almost for certain a thing because we've actually never been to Gelmora proper. That or in some way exploring there's definitely a lot of room for that, 100%. I really want Mericidia, but I feel like doing another Dragon expansion would be redundant. Dr. Smash, Ray, if you're around, can you pass Dr. Smash my video on 7.0 and why 7.0 is most likely going to be Mericidia? There's one. That's one huge aura. Is that a Rain or is that a Zayla? Show me your horns. Okay, that's a Rain. Interesting. Northern Road, Hokkaido. Yozakura. The Northern Paths Yozakura. Ninja with a mushroom. I don't think that's a mushroom. I think that's a gourd. I think that's a, yeah, it's a gourd. It's like for holding sake or like liquids. Snow needs updated model now. Tetrapagos V2. 7.0 Ninja looks dope. V, thank you. 7.0 is definitely Mericidia. We'll go there after saving Breacher Seacher. Yeah. I have a whole video explaining why it makes sense, why 7.0 would be Mericidia. It's female color. I really want the more northern parts of the Far East too. Seeing the Tail Mountains and Aros would be so cool. Yeah, Jade. Look, Jade. The Blind Frost was referenced. It's only a matter of time. Will Ninja get more Mudras finally? Gem. See, good to see. Glad to have you. I look. I'm not a Ninja main, so far be it for me to know anything about making what would do. But would adding an extra Mudra be interesting, or would it add more just complication without being more fun? I mean, like, I don't know. I'm not the person to ask, but that would be the main crux of what I would ask in thinking if you'd ever get another one. Simon says mechanics are so hard for me. Oh, see, I love them. Yeah, new Ninja looks. Yo, that one near Second Alliance raid mechanic, yeah. Oh, they want that. Yeah, no way they would add more Rouges would ruin the rotation. Yeah, isn't it pronounced Rain, not Rain? No, it's R-A-E-N, so it's Rain. Rain. Ren would be R-E-N in Japanese. Here. We can double check that so that I'm not talking out of term. Let's find somewhere. No, I want to. So here, well, wait. This is the wiki. They don't cite it. Wait. There's a site. Here's a site. Encyclopedia Eorzean, but that doesn't reference that. Well, this is right, and this is saying Renzoku. If it is Renzoku, then yeah, it would be Rain. Ren instead of Rain. But the fact that they added the A is interesting. Then why bother adding it in English? Rain. Well, I mean, it's also Ren, in like the Japanese E sound. In English, you would Ren, but you want it to be a you want that A, like Aether. These are some of the clothings. Okay. Take your time and read the clues and hints about the different routes. It'll be fun. Be more fun than looking it up online. Rewards for the dungeon. You had those clothes. I didn't show any of the mounts yet, did I? New crafted gear first. Ooh, I like that. That's pretty. I like it.
面白いんですよ今回。ほーって。もうちょい上げていただいて。はいはいはい。ありがとうございます。おしゃれ。 え。
うん。
はいはいはいはい。
お、これまたおしゃれ。
これもおしゃれだよね。
Those are real good.
よいしょ。もうさ、忍者の方向性がさ、現代風ですよね。
素敵。
新式ですよ、新式。
本当に今までの。
いや、本当ね。どうした14。これでお前ら霊式行くんかっていう。
そうですね。あら、素敵。
可愛いっすよね。人気出てくる。
Sorry, now I'm figuring out.
まあちょっと暑くなる季節にあれなんですけど。
Yeah, so the thing is that the English would be probably rain or rain. Yeah, it's hard to say. But like, yeah, Japanese phonetically would be ren. Traveler, good to glad to have you. Yeah, look cozy. Range gear looks dope. Would be odd, so it would be bad to be able to you could find something. Yeah. Wait, where's the gear from? This is crafted. Yeah, cozy glam. I knew it. Crafted gear is reused. Kitesis? Some parts of it. I mean, that's not all Kitesis. Rook on Mountain looks gorgeous. Yes, it does, Traveler. It's very exciting. Magic gear not being full robes, impossible. Ninja's trying to fit into today's world. Yeah, very modern clothing with those shorts. What happened to your gear, Final Fantasy 14? Are you going into Savage with this gear? It's too cozy, says Yoshi-P. Okay, new mounts. This bed! Oh my god! Oh my god! That's hilarious! That's one of the new mounts. Ah, the weapons are Kitos, that's what you meant. YouTube, I've got bad news. There was always that stuff available. Like, there's more and more of it. Where get bed? This is Island Sanctuary is where you get this bed. I mean, there's also another bed mountain game if you just want a regular bed too. Foxhound, how am I not sliding off? The Warrior of Light is just that strong. The Warrior of Light's just holding on with their inertia. Jade. Oh my god, it's an Oompa Loompa! What's it fucking English? Axolotl! I love Axolotl! I love them so much. I got to hold one once. In Japanese, they're called Oompa Loompas, and I love them. But it's also where Woopa, the Pokemon's name, comes from. Jesus Christ Almighty! So that's a Mount Ronkan mount. It's a yokai, and it's also got the Ronkan sigil house on it. It's a lantern. It's like a lantern yokai. So cool. Terrifying. That's a void scent. I think it's probably actually an Ashkin rather than a void scent. Because I think the yokai are for the most part not actually here. I'm pretty sure most of the Ashkin yokai are either elementals or or most of the yokai are either Ashkin or elementals, not voids. But we can check. Let's check. So the wheels are Soulkin. So the wheels are Soulkin or Soulkin. Does not look like any of the Void Scent are. Okay, what about Ashkin? Yeah, so yeah, basically all yokai are either Ashkin or Soulkin.
トラベリングサポート。
はい。
Money boy!
なるほど。
That's adorable.
飛ぶタイプじゃなくて走っとる。あ、可愛い。
Did they say? Okay. New addition to Mandragoras.
すごいですね。
荷を運んでおります。これがですね、
はい。
特徴がございまして。
特徴がはい。
Sadly, they didn't say where each of these are from. I mean, we can definitely tell that the beast is definitely Mount Rookon. I bet you I wouldn't be surprised if the axolotl was too, though it also could easily be Island Sanctuary. Would this be Island 2? This one might be? I don't know, because it's basically not that dissimilar from the one from the from the Loporrit Beast tribe. Or tribal group quest, so I don't know what it is. Remember to carry, can't remember which name from Holes up. Moya was a good choice for the island decoration. Could the robot be a max rank tribals? Jay, that's what I was just thinking. Although it's interesting that it's still so close, you know, between I mean, but I guess it could be like combining Omicron. I mean, if you combine kind of like the Omicron sort of stuff with the rabbit stuff. Well, but then like I don't know what in there that's even really Matanga. What the frickin' not Gajasura, the Matanga, Gajasura, Arcosodra. Kind of looks like the Omicron with bunny ears thing from Omicron Quest. Yeah. Have they announced any plans for allied tribal quests? No, not as far as we've heard. Blueberry Cinnamon, good to see you, glad to have you. I wish you could show the transition into flying mode in slow motion. Yeah, because it actually like full. I love any mount that actually kind of like doesn't really cheat and actually unfold. Could the Island Sanctuary quest reward similar to the glams with Sadu, Serena, and the Marshal and all? I mean, could. So yeah, so those were the 4 mounts that they were showing off. The Yokai, which is definitely Mount Rookon, the Oopa Loopa, the Bed, and the Mandragora, and then also the tribal group. I bet you that monkey is from Mount Rookon too. That's Sadu. That definitely looks like a Yamano Sadu. Yeah. Return to monkey. I thought they said they were going to be no more allied tribe quests back in FanFest. They did, but the thing is, Gary, they've changed their mind over that, like things like that in the past. So usually you can take that to usually be the case. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's like a Heian period doll. So there's dolls like this in Japan, from like before 1000 AD. I actually don't know how far back you go where you find but the Hanioi, I forget what they're actually called. But anyways, Haniwa? But so that's probably, this is also probably Mount Rookon as well. I love Monkey Bone. But yeah, so Gary, to the point I was gonna say is like that was when they said that would have been true for that expansion. After that, though, sometimes they go back to things. So probably we won't see them again based on what they've said in the past. But if someone on the team had a really good idea and they felt like they wanted to do it, they just do it. Looks like they're giving us better rewards for Criterion. Well, we don't know that all these are Criterion. I mean, like the minion. Well, I guess like maybe I'll take that back. If the minions and the clothing and the mounts and the yokai mount is enough for you, then yeah. I guess to me, like it doesn't feel that different, but I didn't have as many problems with the prior tier, so I clearly I may not have my pulse on them. Dapper Otter Boy, look at that steampunk Otter Boy. Look at him. The best companion for every machinist ever. A dapper otter. My otter collection. Just remember, you can put. Oh my God, Ninja Dog. Okay, yeah, Mount Rookon's rewards did just get a lot better. You know what? Yeah, in the words of Alexander. Oh. Such a good boy. Def seems like an island reward. The otter. Yeah, that one. This one, you can even see the little ninja symbol on its head. Ah! On its head, it's like on its headband has the ninjas. You know, next Deadpool cosplay. Yeah, yeah, we could definitely do Deadpool cosplay with that.
増やしていく意思を感じる。
感じるよね。
Is that a specific Monster Hunter Rise reference, or does I mean ninja dogs are a thing that have been long around before Rise?
しかもそうね。なんならこのタイプのわけもいるじゃん。
Yeah.
そうですよ。
I mean, hell, they've been around since, but in like stories and stuff since before Naruto.
そうって思ってる頃ですね。
But is I haven't played a ton of Rise. Is that like is there something very specific? It's a Naruto reference, obviously. I'm reminded of the dog ninja from Dragon Ball. I feel like some of the mount things would be easier to see if Yoshi-P weren't using them in affiliate. Shi-Inu-bi.
はい、ありがとうございます。
One of my things is like whenever someone says Shiba Inu dog, like they'll like in English you say like a Shiba Inu, like what like Shiba Inu just means like Inu dog from Shiba, the Shiba prefecture. There will be more mounts and minions, but this is all I am showing. That's it for the demos they wanted to show. Now to announcements. So there are going to be more minions and mounts, and it didn't clarify how many of those would be for Worldcon, but it does seem like Worldcon's going to have more rewards that people are interested in.
はい、ではまず最初のお知らせこちらです。どうぞ。はい、まずおさらいですが。
Okay, reminder for FanFest, Las Vegas, July 28th to 29th, London, October 21st to 22nd, 21st to 22nd, Tokyo, Japan, January 7th to January 8th. Okay, they finally have that nailed down. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to be looking at between 3 and 6 months post that. We're really looking at sometime between April and like July, probably, for 7.0. Can't wait for those little job hints we'll get for 7.0, yeah. Remember to pay for very close attention to his shirts. Yeah, right now he's just wearing a pure white shirt, so I think good with that. Did they skip the ocean fishing update? So far, yeah, they didn't really mention anything about it, but they may just be like moving on to explain it in a different... They may not be demoing it. It may just be that they're just not demoing it before they do this announcement. Your white shirt, white mage confirmed for 7.0. Lynn, I hadn't even thought about that. That's, your powers of intuition and understanding are truly amazing. March to June 2023 is what I'm hoping for. And I think Smash, that's a pretty safe guess. I wouldn't say it's definitely a confirmed guess. I wouldn't even be like, oh, it's like an 80%, but I think it's a safe guess for now. You definitely would be looking between 3 to 6 months out from FanFest. Final FanFest, because yeah, they mentioned the Red Sea area. That's it. Yeah, well, so you're going to be going about the Ruby Sea. Basically, you're going to be going from Kugane Harbor into the areas around the Ruby Sea. So if here, I'll pull up my map real quick. The areas that you will be fishing in for ocean fishing are you're going to be over here. And you're going to be going through the Ruby Tide, the Kasen Rasen Kaikyo. You might even go up into, depending on how far they take you, you might go out into the Glass Ocean or up into the Bay of Yanxia or the Blind Frost. But in theory, you would be mainly around this. Because if you do ocean fishing, primarily you're in like the Strait of Merlthor, the Rotano, and areas around here in Vilbrand. You're basically going out from Kugane in the same way and going to like that general sort of vicinity. I mean, they haven't announced that yet, but just from the shots alone, we know that's clear that's what's up. Okay, have a good one, Lynn. Dragon Lily, thank you for Archon. Enjoy your emotes. Double brooms.
もう一つ素敵なお知らせがございまして、次の画面お願いします。どうぞ。
Wait, we're going to the Red Sea. The Ruby Sea, I think, is what they meant. Oh, what the hell is this? What the heck-a-hack-a-hoo is beautiful. Also, what the hell? One more interesting announcement. One more thing, Jackie. Special battle, the Gilded Aria. Attendees of the North American, European, Japanese Fan Fest will have a chance to try it early. Historically, this means that this is either going to be a dungeon or a trial boss. Probably a dungeon boss for 7.0. Interesting. Oh man, there's a lot to speculate on that.
そのうち全員誰でも触れるようになるんですが、ファンフェスで先行体験できるスペシャルバトルとしてアスラトーネ戦が登場いたしますというお知らせでした。はい。いや楽しみですね。
ファンフェススペシャルバトルは結構作るのも調整するのも大変なんですけど、
ですよね。
頑張って作れたんで、結構ねファンフェス会場でその場で集まっていただいた人たちで、
look ahead, yeah. I see it. I see it.
復活させるんですけど、みんなでワイワイね、その場であったからこそね、楽しめる内容に。
Multiple faces, but what's interesting is one red, earth tone and lady, which could be kind of similar to the Warring Triad. Also, this imagery is kind of similar to Xande, both in like a look and his arms. Also, obviously, background is Emanation remix. Yeah, it has to be Mara. Yeah, it's Emericid, yeah. And it's Sura Minerva. Yeah, it's a Sura. So. When was the last time?
の内容を知ってる人が増えたらいいなっていうのと同時に、メンテナンスで14が遊べない時間のお供にしようみたいなことでしたよね。はい。
Because it's the summon, but like, what was the summon in? 4. Okay, summon in 4. What else did it show up? Okay, it's a summon in 4. Yeah, that makes sense. Queen of the Hydaelyns. Yeah, it's Mirror City makes sense. Dude, and wait, I may be right. I think the Warrior of Light's job. I think the Warrior of Light's poster job is going to be Summoner. I really think it might be Summoner. Yeah, so if you're going to FanFest, you're going to get the chance to be able to fight that early. And if you win, you usually get a prize. I don't know if they'll be true. 6.4 maintenance will not be on the 24 hour. Also, the Asura's battle, the battle should be very enjoyable with people you have just met at FanFest. Everyone will be able to do the content in game at a later date, obviously. That would just be Chef Kiss perfect. Yeah, job reveal at EU FanFest. Probably, yeah. I'm almost certainly Nick, based on history. Yeah.
ということで、5月23日のパッチノート朗読会から、ぜひご一緒に。
So yeah, maintenance is going to be the night before, and then it's going to be up 6 GMT. Okay, yeah. So that's actually pretty nice. An AI algorithm improvements created smoother transitions for audio. Okay, this is just the audio thing again. Also, friendly reminder though, if you want to get into a card game, the Final Fantasy card game is still going strong right now, and they're going to be releasing a Final Fantasy 14 set soon. So if you have any interest at all, FF14.
音の360度方向の変化がより滑らかに行われるようになるということと、サウンドライブラリが改善されて、環境音の奥行きがアップして、
I don't know if you've ever
っていうのが主なとなっております。そしてさらにですね。
But yeah, so they're releasing the 14 set soon. That's gotta be it's gonna have all different. It's gonna have all the different scions and stuff. I don't know why that just came to mind, but definitely worth checking out. I hope I can do it on controller. Gem, I think they have controllers there. I'm trying to remember. I can ask some of the people I know. Wait, that's a 7.0 boss. It will probably be a 7.0 dungeon boss based on history, because it was, what was it? 2019 FanFest. It was.
そうなんです。これ皆さんの耳の形に合わせて再現されるということで、スマホでですね、皆さんの耳の写真を撮って送るっていうフェーズがございますね。
その形に合わせてね、データを作ってくれるんで、そうなんです。素晴らしいんですよ。
それを略して耳を送るという。
そうですね。ディアブロの PVP じゃないんだからさ。倒した相手の耳ね送るわけじゃない。送るわけじゃない。
Trying to find it. I'm trying to remember what it was. But yeah, they've done this before in terms of it's usually a dungeon boss from earlier on. Odin was the 2.0 FanFest boss. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. The entire expansion won't just be in Mirror City. Yeah, I mean, it's very possible, Alexander. I mean, it's very possible we could like have 2 maps in Corvos. We could have like a map in Corvos, a map in somewhere else in Ilsabard, and then like 4 of them in Mirror City. I think it's very possible. Yeah.
いやでもこれ本当に 3D
Though it is big enough. It certainly is big enough. For those of you who don't know, let me pull up. Actually, perfect. I've got the Theris globe on me. So this is the globe of Theris. This is Eorzea right here. Right. So you got Vilbrand. This is Ilsabard. This is Thavnair, the island of Thavnair. This is Mericidia down here. This huge honkin' island and this smaller island here. This is Mericidia. So Mericidia itself is bigger than Othard.
無料体験版は本当にすぐお試しできるんでやってみてください。それで
Like Garlemald would be up here.
今まで聞こえてたもの聞こえ方が多分全然変わるんで、はいやってみてください。
はい、どうぞお試しください。
はい。
そして今日は最後にもう一つスペシャルなお知らせがございますので。
Maybe they'll have Hildebrand quest trial boss again. Yeah, could be. I would be surprised for it for that beta testing. But 16 is not pre-orderable. Woo. Ultima 3.0 was Proto Ultima. Don't remember 4.0 or 5.0. I'm pretty sure 5.0 was like Dawn Meg or something. I thought 5.0 for sure was a dungeon boss.
何を隠そう、ファイナルファンタジーシリーズ35年の歴史の中の14番目のナンバリングタイトルです。はい。そしてですね、来る2023年6月22日に我らがファイナルファンタジーシリーズ最新作16番目のタイトルがいよいよ発売となります。ファイナルファンタジー16プロデューサーの吉田です。すいません、ちょっとお邪魔させていただいております。
これはようこそおいでいた
だきます。いやすいません、お邪魔させていただいて、ヨシピーがね、はい、最後のもう最新作なんだから、そうね、いいぞ、アピールしていいぞって。そうなんです。今日の PLL が16発売前最後の PLL ということになりますので、そうお聞きして本当にこんな場を室内さんもすいませんいただいてありがとうございます。はい。
Yep, no, I got nothing.
ということで、画面にある通り。
Right, 4.0 was Yojimbo. Okay. What was Stormblades?
受付中とともに
From understanding 5.0 was Dawn Meg's final boss. Okay, so I'm not crazy. Okay.
16特集が先日ありまして、こちらの動画も公開中となっておりますので、まだご覧になってないよという方はですね、
Honestly, that makes sense.
プロデューサーの吉田さんが
Please only in the part of Mericidia, not the whole
い
place.
ろんな16の要素をご紹介いただけておる。
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine either way, frankly, but yeah.
ぎゅーっとファイナルファンタジー16とはまあどういうゲームで見どころどんなところ
If you're playing, you can pre-order Final Fantasy 16. In 35 years of Final Fantasy history, we were responsible for the 14th title, but we're also responsible for the 16th one. So now let me swap to Final Fantasy 16 producer Yoshida-san. I talked about the game in detail in the video you can see on the link. Yeah, if you haven't watched the where he goes into great detail and breaks down it. Dude, oh, this bugs me. Like, why did they make this? Why is this the global one and why is this the Japan-Asia one? Why? I'm sure there was, like, marketing testing that was done for this, but, like, the Asian one in this time is, like, way better. I mean, like, just even, like, multiple things. Like, for instance, his sword's black and blocks up the color. Like, you have the white text here, which is stark. But you've got the black on the background, but then you got him, black stuff. And then it's just like I don't know. You got the icons and I don't know.
結構ね予約したよという声もたくさんありがとうございます。いただいているので、いやステートオブプレイの動画にね、出させていただいたというか、なんか先方から言う。
Oh, you can't see because of my face. Oh, okay. Or good because of the chat.
そのプロの方とかにやってもらうより。
Here. Let's go back real quick. These two. See. So you got the black text on white, but then it's covered up by the sword a bit. You got the white text that's much more stark, and then you've just got Clyde's face and Joshua, like a little Joshua, and then you've got like the icons here with Clyde in the middle and the crystal, one of the crystals and the kingdoms in the background.
LA の方でイベントをやらせていただきますし。
I talked about the game in detail. The video you can see the link. The English narration is done by Koji. Yes. Because Koji has been working on 16 primarily, and Kate Quinner has been leading localization for 14 throughout Shadowbringers and Endwalker. I mean, it'll be pretty easy enough to print out or buy a replacement cover if it you know, assuming you even buy physical media.
ご覧いただけると、まあね、いろんなことをやろうと思ってます。はい。まあ新社長の挨拶もきっとあるんでしょうし。見どころだったりを解説したり、
We will probably stream it and won't be much different to the vibes we have in these 14 streams. Oh, sorry. The release date of FF16 is fixed, and just before the release date, we will have an event in Los Angeles. We'll probably stream it, and it won't be much different to the vibes we have in these Final Fantasy 14 streams. I mean, that's smart. It's a great marketing tactic, and it answers a lot of questions.
発売より前にですね、体験版も出しますので、ぜひですね、プレイステーション5をご用意いただいて、そうでした。体験版
okay, guys.
いただければと思いますので、まあ体験版の中身についても、時期が来たらですね、詳しく、これはこういう風に遊んでほしいな、これはこういう風なものだよ、なるほど感じで出します。
There's going to be a demo for 16.
ぜひですね、お願いしたいです。でも今回本当に、まあ、北さんにも、まあ、ブランドディレクターの北さんにもものすごいいっぱい応援していただいて、本当に思い切って作らせていただいた。
I thought he was going to say something else.
ぜひです。
He's prepping up to say something else, like, and went a different direction.
迎え入れていただければ、そして皆さんが楽しんでいただいた後にですね、きっとヨシピーがこれやろうよって言ってくれると思いますんで、皆さんにしっかり16を知っていただいた後ね、何かしらやっていけたらと思いますので、ぜひ14ともどもよろしくお願いします。はい。
ね、FF14 といたしましては、ちょっとの間16に FF 最新作の席をお譲りいたしますが、はい。
I
wonder if Unukel High will make Earth resurface for 7.0 if we were dealing with the Warring Triad, maybe. Yeah, so the problem is that there's been theories about that. I mean, I don't know if you've done the 5.0 world quest, but the thing is, he's already resurfaced in the game and is in the first, anyways. He's kind of been devoted more to dealing with the 13th and its restoration. And it's also hard because they haven't made Warring Triad mandatory, so I don't think they necessarily know how to handle that. That said, if creating a connection between the 13th and the source is a permanent fixture, and that also becomes a portal to elsewhere as well, like the first and beyond, it then could easily be a way to have him end up in the 13th without necessarily making him a mandatory MSQ thing. Yoshi-P says, I expect Yoshi-P to say something about a collaboration once everyone has enjoyed FF16 for sure. Yeah, so what Yoshi-P is saying is that Yoshi-P is saying for sure 14 collab will happen, but it's going to happen after 16 comes out. After a little bit. They're going to use it as a second round of marketing. Yeah, obviously you can't make the Void Quest post Shadow Ring mandatory, and this story is tied to those. Yeah. I mean, you say they can't. They could. They won't. They could, but they won't, and they shouldn't. But they could. I mean, they did. They switched. They said they weren't going to make Crystal Tower mandatory, and now the only thing to worry about is how would they get transportation to get from the moon to said planet below, something called Velopris. Yeah, I mean transportation. I mean, like as long as there's ethereal connection between the 2 points, there should be a way to transport people, right? Same way that there's the gates of what's the fucking called? The gate that Fandaniel references from Mare to the Tower of Babylon.
まあ今回でまだね10周年終わりとかいうわけじゃないので、これからも日本だけじゃなくて全世界含めていろんな施策がまだまだ続いていきますので、一個一個触れてると意味がないぐらいなので、どしどし引き続きいこうと思います。また不意にいろんなものが出てアナウンスされるに違い、はい、よろしくお願いします。ということで、本日は大体これで締めになるんですけど、
14-16 crossover props happens when PC really happens. Oh, I think way before that, Brian. Way before that. I would say probably even earlier. Wait, we already know how. Bring a big ladder with. No, like they're gonna make you level 5 jobs for MSQ. Yeah, well, fair point, Laura. Wait, we already know how. The 8th right thing you have to do to get the Tavernier. Yeah. Well, Struggle. Well, I mean, potentially. The thing is, that's localized. Like, the problem is the range with that. But then also with what happens in Thule, it's ambiguous what the range of that even is, and what the limitations of the energy involved are. But yeah, it should probably could work. Yeah, the only works if the crystal is made in Charlene. Oh damn, really? Yeah. I don't. There is a Charlene Aetheryte anywhere on the first. Yeah, you have to make a Charlene Aetheryte for it to be a teleportable point. But then again, the thing is that what you could do is you could take a Charlene Aetheryte with you through the void if the game becomes a permanent fixture that can be accessed by anyone. I mean, if we all need a Charlene Crystal, we can just have the wool pick it up. Yeah, put one in our pocket. Well, we need Charlene Aetheryte with like the big honkers. Well, the thing is, it functions on Thule, but again, Thule's weird with the teleportation device, and also the Ragnarok itself probably has, to some extent, because the reason is an odd man out for being Charlene / Elegant Tech. True, that doesn't solve to get to the surface. Yeah. Since we're in the 10th anniversary of Final Fantasy XIV, there's still a lot of collaborations we're working on. We just announced the JRA horse racing collab earlier today. There's a lot more still to come. I can't touch on them all right now, but there will be more announcements. That is all of what we want to discuss during the PLL, but this also means the next PLL will be held during NA FanFest. But as Final Fantasy VI Yoshida, I will probably have at least 2 more streams until then. If you don't want to see me, that's whatever to you. But there's wants to be a 2-month break. So the next producer live letter will be from the FanFest stage. Yeah, it's gonna be in July. Gonna do about 2 months from now. 2 months, 2 weeks. Didn't miss ocean fishing. No, they just didn't do anything on ocean fishing particularly. I mean, I'll cycle through earlier to see if there's. If there was like a. They did mention they were going to cover it, but they didn't.
なのでもうとにかく今年はゲーム皆さん一緒にねぜひ楽しんでいきましょうというわけで14も頑張ってね面白いコンテンツ引き続き作っていきますしアップデートしていきますのでゲーマーとしてね今年1年もまたゴリゴリ盛り上がっていきたいと思います。はいはい、ありがとうございます。それでは大丈夫よね。大丈夫ですね。はい。はい、では以上をもちまして、はい、第77回ファイナルファンタジー14プロデューサーレターライブを終了させていただきたいと思います。はい、また次回お会いしましょう。さようなら。
Sayonara. Okay, Ray, if you're around, or V, if you're around, could one of you guys start doing the roundups? Because that's, I think, what we're going to call it there. Another exciting live letter, guys. 6.4, only 2 weeks away, effectively. What are y'all most excited for? Anabasios? The trial? Our hearts breaking over the amount of emotional pain that's going to be dealt to us in the near future? Monday, a friendly reminder that every Monday and Tuesday I stream the MSQ. We're right now we're going to be starting up Endwalker. On Wednesday, we put out new videos. On Thursday, me and Neri play through the old Final Fantasy XIV games. We're on Final Fantasy IV right now, which is hyper relevant. On Fridays, I take that off, and then Saturdays we do community events. Or currently, we're going through all the music in the Final Fantasy XIV expansions and figuring out where leitmotifs pop up on repeat. So you'd be surprised where some things like on Westerly Winds, the Lenosian theme is the main, the slowed down version of it is the theme for the Siren Song Sea. All sorts of crazy stuff. But yeah, if you'd like to join our Discord community, we have one where we join up to talk about Final Fantasy XIV, lore, gameplay, any number of things. We also join together to do fun events like Tomestones. Some of us rage together. All sorts of good stuff with that. Yeah, we'd love it to have you if you're interested in joining. Yeah, have a great day. Buy a lot of tissues for this story. Yeah, definitely, Draken. Definitely. I have to get PvP from rank 16 to 25 in 2 weeks. You got this, Tomo. Just Crystalline Conflicts. Fucking go for it. Or frontline on repeat over and over and over again so that you get a bunch of Tomestones in the meantime. Double duty. Boom. Yeah, have a great day, Hydra. Yeah, all of the above. Yeah, definitely, Alexander. The real reason the relics are tomes is so Yoshi-P can play FF16 and Zelda. There's probably some truth to that. I made a joke that 7.0 will be a giant Final Fantasy VII crossover. None of my friends laughed. I mean, who knows? There might be some truth to that. I can't wait for the raid tier to be over so I can go back to UCOP and T. Jades, take me with you. I need to finish them. I can't wait to be too busy to raid. Yes. Yes. Yes, Alara. Yeah. TY for stream. Can't wait till Music 1. Totally Infinite. Looking forward to having you. I have to go watch the trailer about 20,000 times and put out a video before I'm allowed to sleep, but I have not actually particularly slept very much at all over the past 24 hours. A couple hours here and there. In theory, I would love to play Tears of the Kingdom. but I doubt that's gonna happen. All that said, I hope you all have wonderful, wonderful rest of your days, weeks, and I hope to see you guys in 6.4. Don't be a stranger. Looking forward to the trailer breakdown, but geez, get some rest. Will do, Traveler. Will do. Off to take so much NyQuil. I see that. Godspeed to you, Jade. Take care of yourself. Will do, Draken. With that much time to farm Savage Gear, I have loads of time to prog Uwu. Yeah, there you go. That's the thinking. Take care, Laura. Take care, Brian. Cheers, everybody.